+gambleaware.org.
Barry Orr from Betfair, you just got to fancy Manchester United for this, especially with Pogba back.
Yeah, big odds on 3-10 Man United to get all 3 points. 13-1 Newcastle, 9-2 to draw. Mourinho's side have lost 2 of their last 3 games in the Premier League. However, at Old Trafford, they're unbeaten in 22 Premier League games. Take all the beating again tonight in the first goal scorer market. Very popular, obviously Rashford at 130. Pogba is currently 11-2 chance. Romelu Lukaku 12-5. He's been directly involved in 9 goals in 8 Premier League appearances against Newcastle. A lucky team for him. And correct score betting 2-0 United, currently 9-2, or a 3-0 win for United, 7-1.
Barry, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Checking on the odds with Betfair.
Get ready for more on Talk Sport with Betfair. Go to betfair.com. 18+gambleaware.org.
8 to kick off. It's coming up live on Talk Sport. Manchester United against Newcastle.
Racing UK's biggest ever jump season is here, and there are only a limited number of free 1-month trials left available. Start your free trial today to enjoy complete live coverage from Cheltenham's 3-day November meeting. Plus, watch over 50 live meetings over the next 30 days on your TV, tablet and mobile. Find out more at racinguk.com/free trial. Terms and conditions apply. Cancel to avoid subscription. 12-month minimum contract at £24.98 per month will apply.
Matchday Live on Talk Sport with Sky Sports. Watch the Premier League live in stunning ultra-high definition and Dolby Atmos surround sound with Sky Q. This Saturday, it's an £18 million lotto jackpot.
If I won on Lotto, I would buy my nan a pair of really, really fancy shoes. She's 83 years old and she's the most glamorous woman you could ever meet. I love you, Nan.
Get your ticket today. Lotto. Who wins if you win? Estimated jackpot. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 16 or over. Matchday Live on Talk Sport with Sky Sports. Don't miss Watford versus West Ham on Super Sunday. Live on the dedicated Sky Sports Premier League channel.
These days, there's a better deal to be had online for almost everything. So when it comes to selling our cars, why do we go running back to the last century and trade it in? Why not stay right here and sell your car to WeBuyAnyCar.com? Then use the money to get a better deal on your next car. It's quick, it's easy, and there's a branch near you. Change the way you sell your car. Enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com. Terms and conditions apply. See WeBuyAnyCar.com/info.
All right, men, listen up. In the time it takes to play a game of football, 2 men will die of prostate cancer in the UK. That's 1 man every 45 minutes. That's why Prostate Cancer UK and the Movember Foundation are teaming up to tackle it. This Movember, help us stop prostate cancer being a killer.
Everyone's doing internet dating. Now, if people meet in the real world, you're like, weirdos. Because whatever you're looking for, you'll find them online. Like someone with oily hands and an overall at blackcircles.com. You buy your tyres online and they arrange for them to be fitted at a garage near you. Simple and easy. Which is also my dating profile.
Great deals on Kumo tyres this month. So visit blackcircles.com, choose Kumo tyres and click, fit and save.
Selco Builders Warehouse proudly presents Selco's Deal of the Week.
We got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
Get down to your nearest Selco this week and get a 20-kilogram bag of white Dunlop floor and wall tile adhesive for only £9.50 ex-VAT. But hurry, this offer ends 19th of November. Don't miss Selco's Deal of the Week. Find your nearest branch at selcobw.com.
We got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
ReclaimInSpain.com. If you're a professional footballer, cricketer, or simply one of the thousands of UK residents who lost substantial amounts in the Spanish property crash, listen carefully. ReclaimInSpain.com could help reclaim the money you lost on your Spanish dream home that was never built. ReclaimInSpain.com can pursue your claim through the Spanish courts, recovering the investment you worked hard to earn on a no-win, no-fee basis. Visit ReclaimInSpain.com now and find out more.
Want great odds on English football? You get more with Betfair. More drama, more tension, more exhilaration. Betfair have been best odds most often on the top English League football in 2017 compared to leading bookmakers. Betfair, ready for more. Data provided by TX Odds, based on Betfair Sportsbook odds bets placed between January the 1st and September 30th, 2017. Full terms at betfair.com, 18+, begambleaware.org.
Space. It's all around us. An infinite vastness. Extraordinary dimensions beyond the realm of human understanding.
Oh, you! Get out the back of me van!
Oh, sorry.
You're loads better off with a Vauxhall Navano, the large van with the impressive payload. Now even more impressive with free sat-nav, parking sensors and air conditioning. Retail customers only. Order by the 18th of December. T's and C's and exclusions apply. See your Vauxhall retailer for details.
Bringing you every goal from every game, all season long. Matchday Live on Talk Sport.
Well, wins and clean sheets today for Man City, Liverpool, Burnley, Bournemouth, Chelsea and Arsenal in the North London derby. Palace and Everton shared 4 goals. Chelsea have jumped above Man United into second place. Jose Mourinho won't like that. Let's see what he's going to do about it. More live football than anywhere else. That's what we bring you here on Talk Sport. So to Old Trafford, Manchester United against Newcastle United with the former Newcastle man, Joey Barton, alongside your commentator on Talk Sport, Sam Matface.
Thank you, Adrian. Evening, everyone. Over the years, it's been one of the most fiery relationships in European football, and the fact that they haven't faced one another in 10 years has not kept either side quiet. Even the wives got involved. Jose Mourinho and Rafa Benitez are not pals. It stemmed from a Champions League semi-final and has continued on and off ever since. And when Mourinho said yesterday, it's not about us, it's about the clubs, he didn't really mean it. And when Rafa said he'll have a drink with him afterwards, he didn't really mean it. But the Manchester United manager's got other things to worry about. Benitez is an irritant rather than the main problem. Keeping pace with and trying to catch Manchester City is what it's all about. Even Chelsea have gone above them today. The gap is 11 points to top spot right now. And they only just turned on the Christmas lights at the Trafford Centre. United can't afford to drop anything now. Here are the two teams. Manchester United, 4 changes from the side that lost at Stamford Bridge. De Gea, the goalkeeper, Valencia, Lindelof, who played well for Sweden in their 2 playoff games against Italy. Smalling and Young make up the back 4. Then Mata, the return of Pogba and Matic, Rashford, Lukaku and Martial in an attacking-looking front 3. For Newcastle United, by the way, Ibrahimovic is on the bench. Newcastle United, Elliott in goal, Yedlin, Clark, Lejeune, Manquillo the back 4, Ritchie, Shelby, Hayden and Murphy. Up front, Gale and Hosselu in an ambitious 4-4-2. New for Saturday night, strictly no compromising, and with more X Factor than Lewis, Simon and Sharon put together. Maybe not Sharon. Joey Barton is with me. Behind closed doors, do you think Jose Mourinho already accepts that United are in a fight for second place?
I don't think so, Sam, if we're being honest. You know, he's a serial winner. He won't believe it's over until it's mathematically over, no doubt about it. You know, when you're a manager of a club of this size and this magnitude, you can't accept before Christmas is out that the title race is over. I mean, it does look ominous at the minute, the way Manchester City are playing, but, you know, they need to get back on track, and this is going to be a frustrating afternoon for them. But the kind of game that you've got Pogba back in the side, you've got big Romelu Lukaku who's due to start scoring. He usually scores in streaky periods, and I expect him to get off the mark today and get himself back up and running.
Over 500 games of football on Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2. The phone-in's on right now on Talk Sport 2 if you want to vent your spleen on anything that's happened today. Tonight, 7:45, they've got Atletico Madrid against Real Madrid. Tomorrow, Leeds versus Middlesbrough here at 1:15. And with Champions League and Championship throughout the week, you know it makes sense to be in the place that has all the football all the time. It is Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2. Right now, our focus is at Old Trafford. Jose and Rafa going head-to-head. It's live, and it's only on Talk Sport. The referee, Craig Paulson, looks to his left-hand side, gets the signal and blows the whistle to get us off and underway, with Manchester United shooting from left to right in the first half in those red jerseys, white shorts and black socks, and Newcastle United in the black and white familiar stripes with black shorts, the big thick red number on the back like the old days. They're attacking the goal towards our left, the Stretford end. Craig Paulson was the man who sent Jose Mourinho to the stands at Southampton earlier this season, although mainly on the advice of Mike Jones, who was the 4th official.
And Manchester United will be absolutely delighted to be back here at Old Trafford after losing their last 2 away games. They are unbeaten here for 14 months. And they will set a new club record with a 9th home game being won here today. Up to Romelu Lukaku, who hasn't scored for 7 games. He brings the ball out of the floodlights and into his chest, and then it allows it to run down his body before trying to turn away by Kieran Clark, and then Lindelof heads it on through the middle of the pitch looking for Romelu Lukaku, who tries to flick it to Marcus Rashford, who rather industriously chases down as Rob Elliott prepares to clear, and the ball comes back towards Manchester United's Romelu Lukaku. I thought for a minute he was going to be able to run in between the 2 centre-halves. They managed to clear that, but still United have it. Just 5 yards inside opposition territory. It's with Valencia, back to Lindelof, and Lindelof being hounded by Gale sees it all the way back to David De Gea. Hasn't had a great start to his Manchester United career, Lindelof, and De Gea hasn't exactly helped him out there. He's given him a back pass which he couldn't deal with, and he's shanked it out of play.
Yeah, not the best ball from David De Gea there, Sam. I think that's why Dwight Gale's in the side, to hassle and harry and put that Manchester United back line under a little bit of pressure. I think his Manchester United career is yet to start, really, Victor Lindelof. He was excellent for Sweden in the playoff against Italy whilst on international duty, and he'll be hoping that's the kickstart he can get to get in this Manchester United side. Obviously, the alternative side of that's Phil Jones, who's had 6 injections, if you're led to believe what the papers were saying today. And
it was Jose who said it yesterday.
Well, yeah, and then obviously Victor's going to get his chance today, and you'd expect this is an early test of them. It's a great position for John Joe Shelvey to put this ball in and maybe cause Manchester United some problems here.
They've won a free kick 3 yards in from the left touchline. It's swelled in by Shelvey, right-footed, away by Lukaku, rises high, heads away from the edge of the D, comes back into the centre circle where it's clipped in by Yedlin, aimed it up towards the edge of the penalty area. It has come back towards the left-hand side. Ritchie with a cross, offside flag is up in the centre, and a free kick given to Manchester United. Ever had 6 injections in a injury before a friendly?
No, that's the first I've heard. I mean, surely if you don't get the first one right, why go back in 5 more times? So yeah, bizarre. I mean, I can't see you being happy if you're Manchester United and you're getting one of your players for a friendly. All right, maybe for the World Cup, game, or for the World Cup qualifying game, but not for a friendly. 6 injections is extreme.
And Manchester United have the ball left side with Ashley Young, the left full-back, who scoops it down the touchline looking for Romelu Lukaku. The floodlights on here, dark night sky overhead. It's a little bit chilly, must be cold. Even Don McGuinness has got his jacket on.
He's just taken it off now though and put his t-shirt back on. Right, said he was getting a bit warm.
It is hats and gloves weather.
It's the hairy chest, I think, that protects him, Sam, isn't it?
It's amazing.
How hairy it is.
It's amazing. I thought Tom Jones was hairy until I met Dom.
Tom Selleck.
Ball is back all the way with Rob Elliott inside the 6-yard box, scoops it out to the right-hand side where it's hammered upfield, and it's headed away by Smalling, drops for Young. Young turns under pressure from Dwight Gale, goes back out to the left-hand side, and Manchester United have possession once again. 0-0 the score. You're listening to Talk Sport. We've played 4 minutes. Joey Barton and Sam Matterface with you, bringing you Manchester United and Newcastle United. This is Marcus Rashford, who sends it towards the far touchline, finds Smalling and then on to Young. Young further left to Anthony Martial. He's wearing gloves too and a short sleeve jersey. Into Young again, and then on to Mata, who's back in the team, and he seems to get the subbed a lot. He's only played 46 minutes of Premier League football since the end of September. And we mentioned Lindelof, who's on the ball now. This is his first Premier League start for Manchester United. And returning Pogba with a red streak down the side of his hair, runs along the halfway line, then clips the ball forward, slightly off radar, gives the ball away, and Newcastle United try to come forward, but it's easily cleared away after a misplaced pass by Isaac Hayden. And Manchester United then awarded a free kick by Craig Paulson, the referee, just short of the centre circle. 0-0.
Yeah, brave tactics, I think, from Rafa. And watching Kieran Clark trying to usher the rest of the back four up the pitch. They're trying to squeeze the pitch, condense it, to not give Manchester United that space in between the lines. Obviously, they've got a 4-4-2 with Isaac Hayden and John Joe Shelvey in there, and then the 2 strikers in Hosselu and Dwight Gale. I think a key to this game is going to be the discipline of John Joe Shelvey. He wouldn't be somebody who I would think would naturally play in a 2 in midfield. Obviously, Hayden being the holder, Shelvey likes to roam, get in pockets and use his passing range. He's going to have to give a performance of incredible discipline here at Old Trafford if Newcastle are going to get something. And Man United, as you'd expect, Sam, you know, that four. They have Matic as the deep liar. Pogba now, he's going to get on it again. He just keeps trying to get on it. Mata floating in behind Lukaku, and then the pace, which it's good to see, the pace of Martial and Rashford. It'll be interesting to see if this Newcastle backline keeps trying to squeeze and condense the pitch. Will the space open up for Rashford and Martial in behind?
This is Smalling inside the centre circle, striding through it, looking up and playing it to Rashford, who was going to allow it to run across his body, but it was nabbed from him. He was tackled from behind. And the referee is not too happy about Javier Manquillo's tackle, but he believes he got the ball. Free kick has been given to Manchester United, midway inside opposition territory. It's on to Rashford. Rashford now trying to go down the right. He finds Valencia. Valencia gets a low cross into the centre. Romelu Lukaku is there at the near post on the edge of the 6-yard box, trying to scoop it goalwards. He was 1 yard over the top.
Great bit of play, great ball from Rashford. Valencia flying down the outside on the overlap. Great movement from Romelu Lukaku. He feints to go to the far post, darts across the near post, and he's claiming that it's a corner, so he's saying that there was a great block in there. To me, he should hit the target. I'm not sure whether, is it Kieran Clark who gets a touch on that, or Lejeune gets a touch on it? Lukaku's asking for it, but the linesman's saying that he kicked it over, and that's a big chance already, and we're only 5 minutes into this game.
You're listening to Talk Sport. Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0. He's scored 11 goals in his first 10 games for Manchester United. He's gone 7 without a goal since then, and he's had just 5 shots on target in that period. So he needs to up the ante. Gale tries to get the wrong side of Matic, then claims a foul. The Newcastle fans away to our right-hand side believe that he should have had a foul, but I think he was looking for it. It's cleared away by De Gea. Up over the halfway line it goes, and it's back with Florian Lejeune at the heart of the Newcastle defence. Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0 on Talk Sport. Loads of live football still to come for you this weekend, including tomorrow when we've got a game from the Championship at 1:15. And later on tonight when we've got the Madrid derby on 2. Ball out of play.
I'm just chuckling to myself here, Sam, right?
Go on.
If I'd have said to you 10 years ago, Manchester United fullbacks in 10 years' time will be Ashley Young and Valencia, Antonio Valencia, you'd have thought I'd lost the plot.
I might have done. And if you'd said to me that Michael Carrick, Daley Blind et al. Was going to sit in the director's box rather than being involved in the matchday squad, I might also have raised an eyebrow or two. But we do have Ashley Young at left fullback today, and we have Luke Shaw on the bench. And since he's played a grand total of 48 minutes of Carabao Cup football this season, all the more surprising that Daley Blind is up alongside us. We're just right at the director's box here, just right at the halfway line on the back of the south stand, and down in front of us the pitch illuminated by the bright floodlights looks lush and green, and Newcastle United trying to build an attack.
He went the wrong way there.
There was space on the left hand side for Ritchie. They've gone down the right for Murphy instead, and it's flicked infield towards the near side, takes a deflection off Matic and goes out for the first corner of the game, and it goes the way of Newcastle United.
He's causing problems, Hosselu. They're getting the ball into him early, and he's got the beating of Lindelof and Smalling at this moment in time. He's allowing Dwight Gale and the rest of the midfield lads, Matt Ritchie, pop it in off his flank to get a little bit of joy. Man United, they're going to have to sort this out.
Ball is delivered towards the far post, very hefty from Matic, and a corner on the other side now. Matt Ritchie, sorry, came off Young, goes behind, and John Joe Shelby's going to take over proceedings now.
When you look at Man United, Sam, look at the size of them. You've got
Huge.
Pogba in the hole. You've got Valencia, who's big. He's a big boy, Valencia. He must be 6 foot. He's not even picking up. He's just marking the zonal space. They're a massive physical side.
Same in towards Hosselu, gets a header goalwards. Might have been Kieran Clark, actually, who's coming through in between the two of them, and ended up getting a header over the top of the crossbar. And it's away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. And Clark there rising up and heading over the top of the crossbar after stealing a march on his marker.
I think it's Lukaku he gets away from. He just gets his hands on Romelu Lukaku, gives him a little nudge. I mean, as it is, they've got enough pressure there. They've got Smalling putting pressure on Lukaku. Got enough pressure on him to put it off, but good signs. 2 early corners at Old Trafford. They'll be encouraged by the start that the side have made. The faithful that have travelled all the way down from Tyneside.
Well, Rafa Benitez is aiming to become the first visiting manager to win at Old Trafford in the Premier League with 3 different clubs, having previously won here with Liverpool and Chelsea. He did say he was more worried about Lukaku, Mata and Rashford than Mourinho today. But they've had an up-and-down start to the season, and he wasn't happy about their last performance at Bournemouth, or against Bournemouth. Too many little errors, too many mistakes, and they need to correct them. And that includes taking their chances when they're presented to them, and that was a chance. De Gea, under pressure from Dwight Gale. Ball sent back towards the left-hand side on Ashley Young. They're pressing really high up the field here, Newcastle United, and they've won it back again through Shelvey after some sloppy passing. Oh, but then it's a mistake by Hayden, and Mata is trying to escape, and then Hayden's come in from the side, and he's hacked him down. That's a yellow card.
Yeah, guilty there. They turned it over in the middle of the park, and you thought, hey, Newcastle go again. Nice little chance to counter-attack, and then a moment of sloppy passing from Isaac Hayden and set his team on the back foot. And to be honest, he's done the right thing. If he didn't take Mata out there, you feel that Lukaku would have been slipped in, probably on Mata's next touch.
There's the free kick quickly in towards Lukaku, gets a header in on goal, back header on goal. Initially flicked into the air by Rashford, a little back header by Lukaku straight down the throat of Rob Elliott, who was part of that Irish squad that went out to Denmark in the playoffs on Tuesday night. And it'll be cleared upfield by the 31-year-old who started every single league game so far this season. Ball upfield towards Hosselu. Hosselu tries to flick it on. It's collected by Young, though, for Manchester United, who have it back on the edge of their own penalty area. Romelu Lukaku, I mentioned 7 games without a goal. He said in the programme today, I was born to score. I'm like a leopard in the box. Does that mean he's ready to pounce?
I don't know. I've never seen a leopard in the box.
I suppose when you look at his fantastic goal-scoring records, the Manchester United faithful will be hoping that he hasn't changed his spots.
Terrible. Terrible.
0-0. You're listening to Talk Sport. Ball is out of play over on the far side. And it's in the arms of DeAndre Yedlin, who's found Shelvey, hooked it into the air, away by Lindelof, and Dwight Gale gets there ahead of Matic, and then Hosselu tries to squeeze it down the touchline, and a chance to sprint away. Yedlin gets into a crossing position, pulls it back. It's a chance to finish and score for Dwight Gale, his first goal of the season, and he's put it past David De Gea, and he becomes the first player in the Premier League to score here all campaign. Dwight Gale has scored, and Manchester United are behind. It's United 0, Newcastle United 1.
And they deserve everything they've got. Newcastle, they've come with a brave approach. They've got the 2 up top. Hosselu's causing all sorts of problems for Lindelof. Every time the ball goes in and around him, he looks a little bit of a nervous wreck at this moment in time. It's a great little set-off. He just sets the ball, Yedlin plays the ball into him. He just waits for them to get into full stride, lays it off to Yedlin again, who's in behind the Manchester United. It's Lindelof who slips. Dwight Gale in off the post. What a start for Newcastle United here at Old Trafford. Lindelof's having one.
Dear, oh dear. Well, he lost his footing and he was on the floor in a crumpled heap as the ball came through to Dwight Gale. And he netted brilliantly. It's his first goal of the season. He got 23 last campaign.
He's looked nervy though, Sam Lindelof. Every time the ball's gone back to him. I know David De Gea didn't help him initially with the first pass of the evening, but then every time he's got it, he's looked a little bit nervy. He doesn't look like he's settled in this Manchester United side.
It's a massive contrast to the way he plays for Sweden and how he played for Benfica. Why?
Well, he's a big fish in a smaller pond. You come to United, listen, making your debut for any club or making your first few starts for any club, you want to get off to a flyer, and he hasn't really done that, whether it be through injury or lack of form or just form of the other players. But fair play to Benitez. It's clear that they've targeted him. They've gone in direct, in and around him, and they've picked up the second bits, and the goals come from that. You know, they've targeted him, and well, them 6 injections for Phil Jones are looking even more ridiculous as this game goes on.
Mata down the right-hand side, skating into the penalty area for Manchester United, down the right side. He sends the ball into the box. He takes a deflection and bounces behind and away for the first Manchester United corner of the game. 1-0 to Newcastle here. Mata, deep ball towards the far post. Smalling was up in the air trying to hang and wait for it, couldn't get there, and now a chance to counter-attack. Is it for Newcastle? No, Murphy's dispossessed. Rashford almost gave the ball away and then won it back. Pogba sweeps it wide. It's on to Mata. There's three waiting in the centre. Chips it onto his left foot, then sends the cross in. It's headed behind and away by Hayden. It's out for a second successive corner to Manchester United.
That's the class they've missed. That little Pogba pass there, the ball goes into him. He's aware of where everybody is on the park. First time ball round the corner, sets Mata in. That's what they've missed with Paul Pogba being out.
Here's the corner by Mata in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Comes back out to Rashford, who hits it after it was cleared by Shelby. It's 3 or 4 yards wide. Well, what a chance it is for Newcastle United to pick up 3 points here now. Defensively, they've been okay this season, Newcastle. They've only scored 10 goals before today. Dwight Gale getting on the end of that ball from Yedlin to sweep home has put them in front at Old Trafford. As I mentioned before, nobody else has scored here in the Premier League. In fact, the only goal that is scored by a visiting team this season was Lloyd Dyer of Burton Albion in the Carabao Cup. And it's Manchester United 0, Newcastle 1 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. And you can see that Dwight Gale goal on the Sky Sports app at no extra cost if you're a Sky TV customer with Sky Sports.
I know Rafa said he was disappointed, Sam, in the performance at Bournemouth, and to lose at home against a side that's in the bout, you can understand that. But we also have to remember the game before at Burnley. I went to the game on the Monday night, and Burnley were much the better side. And Burnley get it in the lead via the goal, and he makes a substitution where he brings Isaac Hayden on at 1-0 down. And you can kind of see everybody in the stadium going, we didn't expect that substitution. You know, Isaac Hayden isn't somebody you'd necessarily associate with goals, and certainly late goals in the game. So to see him go 2 up top today, I thought, wow, this is a bold statement, but fair play to Benitez, because Newcastle have been worthy of the score so far.
Martial has it left side, onto Rashford. Rashford trying to run to get a shooting opportunity on the edge of the D, but it's broken down by Newcastle, who are rapidly breaking now, and they've spotted the run of Murphy. Down the right side, he's careered into the United half. Richie wants it back in the centre. He's going for goal himself here, Murphy, when he had support, and decided to try and go for glory, and it's straight into the arms of David De Gea, and it probably wasn't the right choice by Jacob Murphy.
No, just a pass back that. No power at all in that shot. Did initially very, very well to hit them on the counter. I thought the pass inside to Matt Ritchie, who has got, you know, real power in his shooting boots, was the ball, and he delayed it, and by the time he took a touch, the opportunity had gone, and another good opportunity for Newcastle United on the counter-attack there.
Fascinating as well, because before the game we were told that Murphy was going to play on the left-hand side and Ritchie on the right. That certainly hasn't been the case. Murphy's very much on the right-hand side and Ritchie on the left. And here, down that right-hand side, is Murphy into the penalty, shooting across the goal towards the far corner. Could have been 2-0.
And that was a better shot. That was a much better shot. And what a pass from John Joe Shelby. Picks the ball up 5 yards into Manchester United's half. There's a bit of pressure on him by Nemanja Matic. It's not enough. He allows him to get his head up and turn it. And I'm telling you now, how he's not in the England setup. And the likes of Jake Livermore and that are in there, I'll never know. Because he's got absolute quality. Like that pass there. If Mata plays that or Pogba plays that, the whole stadium stands up and applauds it. And John Joe Shelby has that quality. He just split that Manchester United back four with one pass, one 40-yard pass on the floor, and Murphy almost makes it 2-0 to Newcastle.
Here's Rashford at the other end. They're going to rely on that trio up front now. They might need the Leopard to pounce inside the box at some point, because Manchester United at the back look a little bit shaky. Matic is the man who's supposed to be adding the protection. He's just dismissed Murphy and turned it over and sent it to the left of Martial. Martial cutting inside on his right foot, tries a trick on the edge of the area, lost it, has won it back again. Mata's got it now. He's more precise with his pass. Matic onto the left, and now Rashford. Rashford into the penalty area. 2-2 Matt. It's bounced off the defender Lejeune, and it's out on the far side and away once again with Manchester United. Young onto Rashford, who they felt was coming back from an offside position. Decides to shoot towards the far corner with his right foot from the edge of the area, and it's curled wide of the post. Let me give you the latest odds from Betfair, Matchday Live's official betting partner on TalkSport. A £25 pre-match bet on Newcastle now means you can cash out for 69 quid. That's if you back Newcastle pre-match. The latest odds right now, 65 on Manchester United to go and win the match, 10-3 Newcastle, and the draw 14-5. Cash out available on single or accumulator bets to take your winnings before the end of the match. Available on selected markets, conditions apply, and full terms are available at betfair.com. It's 18 plus. Please gamble aware.
Just missed the first tactical change of the game there, Sam, when you were talking. Ball goes out of play for the goal kick to Newcastle. Slow being recycled. Mourinho goes over, has a word with the ball boys who are sitting gabbing next to each other, and sends one of them behind the goal. Well played, Jose. He wanted speed of play there, so he's not happy with how quick the ball boys are recycling it.
The ball boy formation is on page 42 of that flip chart. I think he's got down with it. Midway through the first half, and it's Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 1, and Newcastle have a free kick just over the halfway line on the left side. It's floated forward by Ritchie, headed back into the area by Kieran Clark. Clark again gets a second header on the ball, Lindelof away, and then Pogba brings it down and is able to clear. He finds Rashford as he does so, back into Young, whose first time ball is hit on the stumble, doesn't reach Lukaku, is gobbled up by Yedlin, and Newcastle have it back again. And what a good start Newcastle have made to this game. Rafa Benitez has come here with a tactical plan. You'd expect that from Rafa. And here come Newcastle again. Shelby helps it on. Gale to his right. Into the area goes Hayden. Hayden right-footed. Produces a cross at the back post is Ritchie. And he's beaten to it by Valencia. There's a problem inside the area, and Newcastle have got a player down here. And I think it may well be Dwight Gale who's gone down just in front of the penalty spot. David De Gea is out to try and attend to him.
It was a great cross in from Hayden, puts it in the back post, and Antonio Valencia and Dwight Gale. Oh no, it's actually his own man. It's Hosselu who catches him with an elbow in the face. It's good defending, no.
He's been double teamed here because Hosselu's catched him in the face with his elbow, and then
Richie's need him in
the head.
Hopefully he remembers the goal he scored, because he just had two real wallops to his head there. But
a bit of tactical WWE, that, wasn't it?
Really good play again from Newcastle. You know, they've clearly targeted that ball very direct into the front man, whether it be Gale or Hosselu, and they're getting a lot of joy. Matic obviously can't screen the two of them, and Pogba and Matt are a little bit further up the field, so they're getting a lot of joy from that ball from front to back really quickly, and then they're building the second phase off it. And if you're watching this game as a neutral and you didn't know who the sides were and you didn't know this was Manchester United at home, Newcastle are first at every ball, whether it be in the air or on the floor, and then they're picking the second balls up. Man United need to snap out of this little lull in football that they've got, not only in this game but in the last few weeks by the look of it.
Well, Victor Lindelof never started a Premier League game before today. Did come in after 23 minutes of one against Huddersfield. That didn't end too well either. And this one hasn't started so good. It's Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 1. Dwight Gale is back on his feet again, been taken off and been assessed by the doctors and is playing on. Here's Manquillo into the area. It runs a very long way. Manchester United eventually clear through. Young up to halfway. Comes through. Clark heads it back and Pogba takes over. Charges forward. Sends it square towards the left-hand side of Martial. Good idea as well by him, because others were being chased by black and white jerseys. It's back to the right and Mata, midway inside Newcastle territory. Into the centre and Matic, who sweeps it along the floor. Out to the left, it's collected by Young, who tries to bamboozle the defender. Goes on the outside, then gets to the byline, produces a cross just a bit too big, and there's no one coming in at the far post. And it's hooked away by Ritchie out towards this near side, and it's away for a throw.
And Pogba initially breaks the Newcastle line there. He drives through, drives past Shelby, picks his head up, plays a ball square, and then this is a problem with Man United. It goes square, comes back out, goes square again, goes square again. Eventually Ashley Young gets a cross in, but by that time Newcastle have got the two banks of four set. The back line's in shape, it's compact, it's back in its own area. They've got the midfield four in front of that, and then Hosselu drops in at the point. So they've got to move this ball quicker. They've got to switch sides. They've got to play in behind this Newcastle line if they're going to break it down, because Newcastle will be here all day and defend this. It's very pedantic from Man United at the minute.
Pogba tries to send it down the right side. It's a loopy ball which is headed away by Kieran Clark and out for a throw, 10 yards short of the corner flag. It's back to Valencia, missed by Ritchie. Valencia's cross is a good one, but it's too high for Martial, and then it's hooked away and cleared by Jacob Murphy over on the far side. The autumn internationals underway. England victorious over Australia earlier by 30 points to 6. That would be a good one to be at.
Yeah, well, I'd rather be here with you, mate.
Scotland 3-0 up against New Zealand. and Ireland 5-0 up against Fiji. Here's Lukaku in the penalty area, picked out by Lindelof, heads it over the top of the crossbar.
Great ball from Lindelof, strides in. First time he's looked composed on the ball, just strides in. Hits about a 30-40 yard diagonal, and it's probably 3 inches above Lukaku. If it isn't, it's probably 1-1. Great ball in. Lukaku's just stretching, just trying to get his timing right to guide it back across Rob Elliott and into the net, and he just can't get the leverage to get there.
Manchester United 0, Newcastle 1 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Don't forget you can watch all the goals and the highlights from this afternoon's Premier League games on the Sky Sports app. It's no extra cost if you're a Sky TV customer.
He reminded me of a leopard in the box there, Sam.
Jumped up very high, didn't he?
Yeah.
Pogba leaves it for Valencia in front of Rafa Benitez, who is pointing and gesticulating down in the technical area, all suited and booted. Mourinho alongside him, just inside his technical zone. Here is Young on the left for Manchester United. Martial pushed it too far in front of himself, tries to chase it. Lejeune rather excellently defends that, scoops it up and then kicks it clear. What a touch that is as well. Played in by Murphy.
That ball again. That ball, they know they've got it. Lejeune, a little bit of class on his own box. He looks up, hits a 50-yard ball straight into Joselu.
What a touch by Joselu.
Absolute class off his chest, and sets Newcastle and Murphy away on the counter-attack. Luckily for Man United, they couldn't take advantage of it that time.
1-0 to Newcastle. Here is Mata from Manchester United. Not seen much football recently, but he's back in the team today. Young being pressed so quickly by Murphy over on that far side, doesn't have time to settle. Newcastle have been told here to go out and really push the Manchester United back line whenever they cross the halfway line. Here is Lindelof, now Valencia, and then Mata, all very tight. As soon as he looks through the wing mirrors, he's got Isaac Hayden right up his backside. He sends it into Matic. It's Smalling now, just left of the centre circle. Then Young, and then on to Martial. It bounces off a Newcastle back, almost came through to the Frenchman once again. Then Smalling heads it clear. Young takes no chances and guides it all the way back to David De Gea. Manchester United are just being contained by Newcastle.
Do you know what they're playing exactly like, for the listeners? Atletico Madrid under Simeone. If you think of Atletico Madrid, compact back 4 line, midfield in front of that, and the 2 strikers dropping in and setting those traps ready to counter attack. They've obviously got pace in the wide areas with Richie and Murphy, and they've got Gale, who can run away from anybody really if he can get into stride. And they're just disciplined. They've clearly worked on this over the international break, and he's decided to come to Old Trafford and take them on. At this moment in time, he's getting his just rewards.
Oh, lovely ball by Pogba from the right edge of the centre circle out to the far touchline, and Young then plays a reverse pass to Rashford, who's trying to keep it in, doesn't quite reach it, goes behind and away for a goal kick. I thought that was fascinating what you just said there. In the international break, this is what he's been doing. Manchester United obviously have had a lot of players that have gone off elsewhere, whereas Rafa Benitez has had a lot of injections. Rafa Benitez hasn't had to worry about injections, but he's also had a lot more of the nucleus of his side back at the training ground. Will that benefit them more than Manchester United?
Oh, for sure. Well, it's always better for the coach if you can work with your players. Certainly when you know you're coming to a cauldron like Old Trafford, you know you're going to be under pressure for large periods, especially if you're Newcastle and you've had those 2 poor results. I mean, they've been going well until the Bournemouth and Burnley games, really.
Yedlin down the right side for Newcastle, tries to pull it back, does pull it back to Joselu, sends into Shelvey. Shelvey trying to get down the right side. He's got Young for company. He's on the edge of the area here as he's trying to trickle his way past Ashley Young. Young with a challenge, goes out of play. It's a corner kick to Newcastle. It's their 3rd of the game. You're listening to TalkSport. It's Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 1. The Madrid derby tonight from 7:45 on TalkSport 2. Tomorrow we've got Leeds and Middlesbrough in the Championship at 1:15. You back on breakfast on Monday?
I am, but I think Al's down in Australia, isn't he? I think he's gone down there for
kidding me.
For the Ashes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
How did he wangle that one?
Who knows?
Here's the corner in towards the near post, headed away by Ashley Young. Back on halfway now. And that's a mistake by Murphy, and it's won by Mata, and Rashford trying to scamper clear. He's got Lukaku now joining, getting down the right side. Murphy trying to get close to him, but Lukaku's got beyond him, and then there was a challenge by Murphy, which has sent the ball out and away for a throw-in down by the corner flag. But Newcastle almost the architects of their own downfall. Here's Rashford, back into Valencia. Newcastle leading by a goal to nil. They got back into shape, though, so quickly after making that mistake that there was no chance, really, for United to counter-attack. Here's Rashford trying to unlock the door. Near-post delivery, which was fizzed behind by Kieran Clark, who got in front of Lukaku, who was lurking with intent to net that should it have gone past the Irishman. Corner.
Good defending from Clark. Got across Lukaku there. There was only Lukaku really in the box because Martial didn't show the desire to get in and get on the back post, but really good defending. Lejeune picked him up and Clark got in front to stop him getting across the man.
Corner was well defended, and then Hosselu holds up Rashford on the near side. It goes out for a throw, which Matic is going to take. Listening to Talk Sport, 30 minutes played. It's Manchester United 0, Newcastle 1. Here's Valencia. He's 20 yards short of the penalty area on the right side when he comes square into Matic. Matic, eyes darting everywhere. Again, strokes the ball elegantly out to the feet of Ashley Young, who comes inside, then right-footed with a cross into Mata, and a high foot falling backward, tried to prod the ball. Eventually, that free kick is given for a high foot from Craig Pawson. And Newcastle have the ball again.
And the longer this game goes on, the more and more Newcastle are growing confidence, Sam. I think they've clearly got a game plan. It's worked for them. Man United are going to have to commit bodies forward to try and get back in it. There's little staging posts along the way now for Newcastle. If you can get into the half-time, dress in the dressing rooms and you're 1-0 up, come back out second half, you've got a right chance of going on and getting 3 points at Old Trafford. But you would expect an onslaught to come from Manchester United at some point. They're just not doing it at this moment in time.
It's got a lot of goals in late in games, haven't they? There has been a goal in the game at Fulham at Craven Cottage. We'll come back here for a free kick in just a second. But which way has it gone? Talk Sports, Kelly Summers.
It's gone the way of the host. It's Fulham 1, Derby 0. Just as we hit the 30-minute mark, Oliver Norwood, on his return to the side, has just hit a perfect free kick from around 18 yards out. Him and Kearney both stood over it. Scott Carson didn't know who was going to take it, but Norwood stepped up and just curled it into the top corner. So 30 minutes played, it's Fulham 1, Derby 0.
Back here, it's Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 1, and United have defended that free kick, and now they're breaking away with Paul Pogba right through the centre of the pitch on the left-hand side, trying to get it up to Lukaku. The idea was right, didn't reach him, but it has gone to Anthony Martial, who's level with the edge of the penalty area. Right-footed ball into the box, headed away by the retreating Lejeune, who's got back alongside Kieran Clark there, just to keep switching positions. Ball's out over on the far side, and it's away for a Manchester United throw. Pogba. Matic, Manchester United probing, but haven't really tested Rob Elliott in the game. Let's be clear about it. The two best chances have gone to Newcastle. They've converted one. The other one has just hit the outside of the post from Jacob Murphy. Been very close to 2-0 here.
Lukaku had a good chance. That was a good chance. He should hit the target there. A player of his quality. Maybe you would argue it's on his weaker foot, his right foot, but Valencia plays a good ball into a good area, and he should really work the keeper from there. Apart from that, as you say, Sam, they haven't really offered much. Newcastle have had more chances here in the first 30 minutes than they did in the whole of the 90 at Turf Moor when I seen him a couple of weeks ago. So he's getting a lot of benefit from playing them two up top, because they've caused lots of problems for this Man United side.
Matic sends the ball crossfield from left to right, looking for Valencia. Valencia just hooks it back goal as Manquillo collides with his goalkeeper, Rob Elliott, who ends up on the floor, but he does have the ball in his hands. And Newcastle, I mentioned it earlier, had an up and down start to the season. 4 wins, 5 defeats. They've only played Liverpool and Tottenham of last year's Big Six. All the other games they've had, they could have won more than they have done over the course of the season so far. But they're sitting in the middle of the table, and that's happy days as far as Rafa Benitez is concerned. Not happy days for Rob Elliott, who's just bowled the ball out on this near side, because it looks as if he may well have suffered an injury after being collided into by Javi Manquillo.
Yeah, Manquillo crashes into him. I think it's a dead leg. I'd be surprised to see him come off. I mean, he doesn't seem to be moving so comfortably. Trying to look down below us to see if Craig Darlow's getting warmed up. I think he's he's putting his gloves on. So,
is he?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just looking at the replays here.
Not much in there, is it?
He's landed on the outside. Yeah, Darlow's getting stripped. Maybe it looks like he's just landed. I thought it was initially Manquillo crashing into him, but it hasn't. It just looks like where he's landed. Well, it's a little...
The physio's massaging his thigh. And he's now back on his feet again. He's going to be okay. He's going to be fine. For now, anyway. Until they need to waste a bit more time later on.
I thought it was getting banged into, but he didn't, which makes you think that it's an impact injury, obviously, off the back of landing on the turf. But
Carl Darlow's now looking for those tracksuit bottoms again. It's a cold night to be taking them on and off every 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's nothing worse, is there, when someone in your position keeps going down, they've had a bit of a niggle. I mean, I've never really sat on the bench anywhere I've been, but the times I have, and I remember playing at Sunderland the one game and for QPR, and Samba Diakite got booked after about 4 minutes, and he was a red card waiting to happen at the best of times, Samba. So he got booked after 4 minutes, and I had to warm up for 87 minutes at Sunderland away, having been an ex-Newcastle player.
Did you get on?
He never put me on in the end. I was having a bit of a disagreement with the manager, so he never put me on. So I just warmed up for 87 minutes because they always thought every challenge was going to be Samba's last one and a red card. And you can imagine the Sunderland fans give me a lot of love. Yeah, huge fan. I think they're about to put a statue of me up outside the stadium.
They may have a new manager in the next 24 hours. Chris Coleman, after leaving the Wales Post, could end up being the Sunderland manager. Tomorrow he's having talks, apparently.
I know, but you just sit there when you see that, and that one word springs to mind.
Why?
Why? Why would you take the Sunderland job? Why? Unless you were mad.
Here is Pogba sending the ball.
Job. Great job he done there, Chris Coleman. Surely he gets a better job than that.
Valencia takes over, sends it back to Pogba, right edge of the penalty area. He's got 4 waiting in the centre. Pogba fancies chances of going past Hayden here. He has got past Hayden here. He stood the cross up beautifully, headed down by Martial, and there's the equaliser. It's all about Pogba, that one, and he will take the applause. He waited and waited. He knew he could beat Hayden on the outside. He went down the right side of the penalty area, clipped it in perfectly, and Anthony Martial, well, he won't get an easier header than that. Heading it down and beyond Rob Elliott. And it's Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 1. Welcome back, Pogba.
He's been class. He's been the one Man United player that's oozed class every time he's touched the football. And as it is there, he gets one-on-one with Isaac Hayden in the wide area. A little show and go. Hayden bites on it. Pogba skips outside of him. And just has the class, the complete and utter world class to stand that ball up. And Martial, he's shown a bit of desire, which he's probably not guilty of doing all the time. Drives into the far post. And to be fair to Yedlin, he's got no chance. Martial's got a run and leap on him. The ball's on a sixpence. Absolute quality from Pogba. That's what they've missed. That's 100 million. That's a £100 million player right there. That little bit of magic. What a ball that is.
Key goal for Manchester United. And Jose Mourinho, often a pragmatist, did say this week he doesn't care how many goals they let in or how many goals they score, as long as they score more than the opposition. Hasn't always been the case, but if they come back and win this one, he'll be absolutely delighted. And Martial's got the goal to level things up 8 minutes before half-time. And here he is again, trying to glide into the box. He's beaten this time by Lejeune. It breaks for Murphy, who sends it on towards the right-hand side. The chance to counter-attack now. Gale's gone sprinting through the middle.
4 against 4 here.
Send it on to Murphy. Some space to get the shot away. Take a little deflection, I think, on the way through. No, the referee says it didn't. And it scoots behind into the Stretford end, and it's away for a goal kick. But as you say, when they broke there, and at rapid pace, Rafa Benitez's side, it was 4-on-4.
Yeah, just a pity that Jacob Murphy's left foot not worth a carrot. He cannot kick the ball properly with it. That's 2 chances he's had, 2 chances. He hasn't even hit it anywhere near the target. So, great counter-attack in all fairness from Newcastle. Caught Man United pressing for the goal. You know, if you're Newcastle here, you've got to be very, very careful. I'd say camp down, get to half-time, take the atmosphere, take the energy away from this stadium, get in there, get some fluids in you, and then come out and you've got a massive second half in front of you. But they need to just stop this little bit of momentum that Man United have got, whether it be going down, getting a free kick, slowing the game down, because Man United have got the tails up in a minute.
And their away record is appalling. I mean, dating back to the last time they were in the division, 1 win in 16 away games before today. Ball hooked forward towards the edge of the box, looking for Rashford. Shelvey away, but it's won by Martial, who is full of desire today, and he's got it again inside the area where maybe he had no right to. He dragged it forward, and Kieran Clark had to come across and snuff out the attack and send it out and away for a throw. 1-1, 5 minutes to go before the break.
And that's just it out there, game management.
Matic trying to send the ball into the centre, but Lejeune came across and shut him down. It's out for a corner.
Yeah, just saying, game management. Ball goes into Yedlin there. If he takes a touch and just keeps it simple, he'll probably be fouled and he'll get...
Young's cross, it's headed goalwards by Hosselu, and he almost put it through his own net. He flicked it off the back of his head. He glanced it goalwards, and he thought maybe he was at the other end of the field, and it goes out for a United corner.
Yeah, I'm petrified to expand this point here, because it looks like Man United are going to score. Every time I open my mouth, it looks like they're going to score.
Here's the corner, deep towards the far post, and it almost caught out Rob Elliott, who punched it clear with a haymaker. Comes back out towards the right-hand side. It's picked up by Matic. Matic into Valencia, onto Pogba. Pogba trying to send it into the area, but it wasn't the greatest delivery. It was hacked away by Newcastle and then picked up by Murphy on the far side, but he's being hounded by Rashford. They've just upped the work rate a little bit, Manchester United, in the last few moments, and that's yielded them dividends.
Yeah, goals change games, and that goal certainly has changed the emphasis in this stadium. You know, Newcastle were comfortable until that little bit of class from Pogba, and it gets Man United on the front foot, and now looking at going on and getting another goal before half-time. Just saying there, when the ball went out to Yedlin in the wide area, if he takes a touch, just controls the ball, there's a good chance Ashley Young's going to bound into the back of him, give him a free kick, allow them to get up the pitch. As it is, he tries to take a fancy little touch inside to set someone away. Ashley Young reads it, and it gets Man United back on the front foot as they are now.
Rashford trying to turn it into the path of Lukaku. Good defending by Lejeune, who's gone right out to that far side. There's a push by Shelvey on Pogba there. The referee says no. It's not a free kick, and it bounces to halfway. Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 1 on Talk Sport with Sky Sports. Don't forget, you can see that Anthony Martial header on the Sky Sports app at no extra cost if you're a Sky TV customer with Sky Sports. 3 minutes to go before the break. Adrian Durham will round up everything that's happened up and down the country. Full-time phoning upcoming from 7:30 tonight with Joey Barton. Make sure you get your calls in. Newcastle United fans might have something to say about the way their team started this game. Very well, but it's 1-1 thanks to Martial, who's bounding down that left-hand side, trying to exchange passes with Juan Mata on the edge of the Newcastle penalty area. It's cleared away, but only half clear, because Manchester United have got the bit between their teeth at the moment, and they're coming forward once again with Pogba. Pogba, ball in towards Martial, isn't a great one. This time it's cleared away by Yedlin, who's had to tuck right in, and it's cleared to halfway. Gale. And this time when Gale turns and spins on the counter-attack, he had 4 red jerseys in front of him and no black and white ones. They have eventually worked it out to Jacob Murphy, who's on the right touchline, being chased by Mata. He's got Young for company as well. Young with a tackle. Murphy's got beyond him. Lovely little trick into the right wing position. Murphy has been challenged by a recovery tackle from Ashley Young. And as it broke to the edge of the 18-yard box, a really good challenge from Chris Smalling on Shelvey to stop that situation from getting worse.
Yeah, great bit of play from Murphy there. I thought he was just going to flick it against the legs and get a throw in. I think that's what he was initially trying to do. Ashley Young actually stopped with his hand in the air and thought that had happened, and he'd kept it in, but great recovery from Young, gets back, gets goal side, and then a fantastic tackle from Chris Smalling when the ball bounces between him and John Joe Shelvey.
Ball helped into the box. Hosselu tries to nick it onto Gale, comes back out to 25 yards out when it's hit by Shelvey straight down the middle of the goal.
Great strike though from Shelvey on his weaker foot.
And Manchester United bowl the ball out really quickly to Rashford. Rashford plays it behind Martial. Mata's not going to reach that. And Yedlin comes across and just about clears for Newcastle United. But there was a really good opportunity to counter-attack there for Manchester United. Shelvey forward to Gale. Ball breaks in midfield. Lukaku will drop and pick this up. And now Matic always looks so calm in possession, turns and plays it to Pogba. And they have it back again. 1-1 the score. You're listening to Talk Sport. Sam Matterface and Joey Barton at Old Trafford on a chilly night in Greater Manchester. Ball back to Ashley Young, who's on the left side of the defence for Manchester United. On to Martial. Martial to Lukaku. Left wing position is Mata. He sends a cross into the box. And it's cleared away by the retreating Kieran Clark.
just see Newcastle getting a little bit disenchanted. You know, the goals took a bit of the wind out the sails. The front two are really connected.
Rashford's cross comes through to Lukaku. He's pulled to the floor. Surely that's got to be a penalty.
I thought it was a foul the other way. I thought Lukaku was pulling Kieran Clark back. Initially, Lukaku was asking for the penalty, but I don't think he was getting it.
I thought his shirt was half off his back when that ball came in. Ashley Young.
See, I don't think it's Lukaku pulling. Yeah, they're having a good go at each other as it is. The referee plays on, and Newcastle get fortunate. But they've got hold of each other. Very, very fortunate not to get a penalty given against them. You can see them given, especially Old Trafford. You know, Newcastle just got to get into the half-time, being a little bit cuter than this.
Only half of Lukaku's shirt was on by the time that he attacked the ball, but he did have a hand on Kieran Clark's jersey too. 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first 45, and it's 1-1 here on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Here's Martial in possession for Manchester United, who are finishing the half strongly, despite conceding their first goal in the Premier League here this season. It's with Martial, back to Mata, who's right at the back of the penalty area. Sends it on to Lindelof. Lindelof is going to strike. No, he's not. He's going to send it wide to Valencia instead. He tiptoes into the box, onto his left foot, tries a strike, blocked into the air it goes behind and away for a corner.
I thought Mata was going to control that. He probably could have controlled it as it was. He let it go out for a corner. Man United in the ascendancy here, and I expect that if you're Rafa Benitez, you just want to get your troops into the dressing room now. And
Young with a cross towards the far post. Smalling arriving, heads it down. It's through the legs of the goalkeeper and in. And Chris Smalling, who was left out of the England squad and was thoroughly disappointed during the international break, has come back with a bang for Manchester United on the stroke of half-time. They started the game poorly, but they bounced straight back. It's now Manchester United 2, Newcastle 1.
You see the game knowledge from me there. See the excellence in my commentary, the way I just stop. I knew that was going to be a goal, Sam. I didn't even attempt to talk over you, mate. When he took the short corner, I'm saying if you're Rafa Benitez, you just want to get your side in. As it is, Newcastle switch off. It's a great ball in with his weaker foot from Ashley Young. And there's Chris Smalling, does everything right. Textbook header. Lejeune probably guilty of ball watching. Heads it downward, and from that distance, Rob Elliott's got no chance. And Man United, without being at the best, really, Sam, are going to go into the dressing rooms in the lead, and looked a tough ask for Newcastle to get back in this game after taking the lead and being comfortable. You know, Man United haven't been at the best, but just shows you why you pay what you do for world-class players.
Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1 on TalkSport with Sky Sports, and you can see that Chris Smalling goal on the Sky Sports app at no extra cost if you're a Sky TV customer with Sky Sports. And it's 2-1 to Manchester United, who are back in the lead here. Here's Dwight Gale, who scored the opening goal. Out to the right side of Murphy. Murphy into the area, away by Smalling, who kicks it into the Sir Alex Ferguson stand over on the far side. 2-1 the score to Manchester United. Smalling left out the England squad. How do you feel about that? Is it the right thing to do?
I don't get it. I don't get lots of things that go on with the England squad, Sam. So I don't know how Shelby's not in it. You know, I just don't know how he's not in it. I don't know how Jack Wilshere's not in it.
Is that a temperament issue?
Who cares? He's a good player. You've got to pick the best players available. If he let you down on international,
Richie,
fair enough.
onto Hayden, inside the area.
Oh,
Hayden against the goalkeeper. Good save by David De Gea. Oh, it comes back to Murphy, and then Gale tries to flick it goalwards, and unbelievably, it goes wide. I mean, I don't know how that hasn't ended up in the back of the net. The Stretford end goal has led a charmed life there for Manchester United.
I mean, it's terrible defending again. Lindelof out of position. Smalling, who were just saying he should be playing for England. To be fair to him, he actually does quite well. But, I mean, Hayden's got to score. I don't know where Lindelof is. He's just jogging back in. Hayden chops it back inside, and then an awful shot. Just hits it straight at De Gea. You won't get a better chance than that to score at Old Trafford. And then the ball comes out. Richie hits it. Dwight Gale in the middle of the goal. The ball's probably going wide. Hits Dwight Gale and somehow doesn't end up in the back of the net.
Great first half of football. Dwight Gale put Newcastle United in front. It's the first time that anyone scored here against Manchester United in the Premier League this season, but United roared back with goals from Anthony Martial and Chris Smalling just before the break. Jose Mourinho has won 5 of his last 7 meetings with Rafa Benitez. He's just about edging this one too, because on the stroke of half-time, Isaac Hayden missed an absolutely glorious chance at the break. It's Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1.
Well, I don't know how Newcastle are behind in that game. It's absolutely extraordinary. Great commentary from Joey Barton and Sam Matterface. The second half to come as well. Sunday exclusive, by the way, tomorrow from 1 p.m. Mark Saggers is your host for a brilliant game from the Sky Bet Championship. Leeds United need a win. They're at home to Middlesbrough. That game live and exclusive across the nation, only here on TalkSport. Let's stay in the Championship, where earlier Wolves went back top with a 2-0 win at Reading. What's been happening at Craven Cottage in the late game? TalkSport's Kelly Summers.
Yeah, half-time here, and it's Fulham 1, Derby 0, and it's a scoreline the hosts very much deserved. They were unlucky not to take the lead on 14 minutes as Norwood picked out Ayita inside the area, and he saw his header superbly saved by Carson. They did go in front on 29 minutes, though. After a previous Fulham free kick had hit a Derby hand, Norwood smashed the following free kick home from around 18 yards out. It's Fulham 1, Derby 0.
Now, in the Rugby Union, England beat Australia 30 points to 6 today. Wales beat Georgia 13 points to 6. What's the latest at Murrayfield? Stuart Cameron.
Scotland 3, New Zealand 3. Scotland were 3-0 up after 4 minutes thanks to a penalty from Finn Russell. Really has been a scintillating display from the Scots. They've kept the All Blacks at arm's length, but with 3 minutes to the break, Beauden Barrett equalised with a penalty. Half-time at Murrayfield, Scotland 3, New Zealand 3.
Did he say 3-3? That's incredible. Ireland in action as well against Fiji in Dublin. TalkSport's David Brady.
Half-time, Ireland 17, Fiji 10. An early Darren Sweetenham try for Ireland, but then Vola opened Fiji's account with a penalty. Ireland's other wing, Dave Carney, touchdown in the opposite corner. Number 8, Jack Conan, scooped up a loose ball to sprint almost half the length of the pitch for Ireland's third. But back came Fiji, a try from the final play of the half, scored by scrum half Seniloli after a brilliant breakout. Half-time at the Aviva, Ireland 17, Fiji 10.
Right, it's half-time. Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1, live on TalkSport. Let's check on those half-time odds with Betfair.
Get ready for more on TalkSport with Betfair. Go to betfair.com, 18+gambleaware.org.
Well, Barry Orr from Betfair. I don't quite know how Newcastle are behind, but they are 2-1, Manchester United at half-time.
Yeah, Newcastle, actually, when they went the goal up, they came down to 130. You could have backed Man United at 5-6. A pre-match bet in Newcastle could have cashed out for 69 quid. Half-time betting in play on Betfair, 1-12 United to go on and claim all 3 points. 55-1 Newcastle United to win. It's a 9-1 to draw. In correct score betting, if you think it's going to remain 2-1, that's a 7-2 chance. 3-1 win for United is 5-2, or a 2-all draw, maybe 11-1.
Thanks very much, Barry. We'll leave it there. Checking on the odds with Betfair.
Get ready for more on TalkSport with Betfair. Go to betfair.com, 18+gambleaware.org.
All right, stay with us. We're going to hear at half-time from Pep Guardiola, Antonio Conte, Tony Pulis, Arsene Wenger, Maurizio Pochettino. He's not happy at all. Jurgen Klopp after victory for Liverpool. We'll hear from Paul Clement, Callum Wilson, Roy Hodgson and David Unsworth as well. All coming up here on TalkSport.
Racing UK's biggest ever jump season is here, and there are only a limited number of free 1-month trials left available. Start your free trial today to enjoy complete live coverage from Cheltenham's 3-day November meeting. Plus, watch over 50 live meetings over the next 30 days on your TV, tablet and mobile. Find out more at racinguk.com/free trial. Terms and conditions apply. Cancel to avoid subscription. 12-month minimum contract at £24.98 per month will apply.
The full-time phone-in on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Watch the Premier League live in stunning ultra-high-definition and Dolby Atmos surround sound with Sky Q.
Being diagnosed with a serious illness like cancer can bring financial worries. That's why at Lloyds Bank, we have staff trained by Macmillan Cancer Support to help manage your finances, so you can get on with life. Lloyds Bank, by your side.
Matchday live on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Don't miss Brighton versus Stoke on Monday Night Football, live on the dedicated Sky Sports Premier League channel.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade go.
At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals on a wide range of trade-quality building products. In November, we've got a 10-square-metre roll of Alumiflex multi-foil insulation for only $59.90 ex-VAT. Now that's a real deal. See selcobw.com for even more real deals and to find your nearest branch.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade go.
Space. It's all around us. An infinite vastness. Extraordinary dimensions beyond the realm of human understanding.
Oh, you! Get out the back of me van!
Oh, sorry.
You're loads better off with a Vauxhall Navano, the large van with the impressive payload. Now even more impressive with free sat-nav, parking sensors and air conditioning. Retail customers only. Order by the 18th of December. T's and C's and exclusions apply. See your Vauxhall retailer for details.
All right, men. Listen up. In the time it takes to play a game of football, 2 men will die of prostate cancer in the UK. That's 1 man every 45 minutes. That's why Prostate Cancer UK and the Movember Foundation are teaming up to tackle it. This Movember, help us stop prostate cancer being a killer.
My girlfriend was on the tablet, right, and said, "What have you been buying online?" Why? And she said, "I'm getting ads for tyres." And I was like, I was on blackcircles.com, wasn't I? Saved money and got them fitted around the corner. You're welcome. And she said, "So what about these ads for manscaping?"
Great deals on Kumo tyres this month, so visit blackcircles.com, choose Kumo tyres and click Fit and Save.
ReclaimInSpain.com. If you're a professional footballer, cricketer, or simply one of the thousands of UK residents who lost substantial amounts in the Spanish property crash, listen carefully. ReclaimInSpain.com could help reclaim the money you lost on your Spanish dream home that was never built. ReclaimInSpain.com can pursue your claim through the Spanish courts, recovering the investment you worked hard to earn on a no-win, no-fee basis. Visit ReclaimInSpain.com now and find out more.
Want great odds on English football? You get more with Betfair. More drama, more tension, more exhilaration. Betfair have been best odds most often on the top English League football in 2017 compared to leading bookmakers. Betfair, ready for more. Data provided by TX Odds, based on Betfair Sportsbook odds bets placed between January the 1st and September 30th, 2017. Full terms at betfair.com, 18+ begambleaware.org.
Okay, I'm going to say something radical in this advert for WeBuyAnyCar.com. If you sell your car privately, you might get a better price than if you sell with us. Yep, I said it. But ask yourself this. How much do you value your evenings and weekends? Is it really worth giving up so much of your time for a little extra money? No? Then join the thousands of motorists who sell with us quickly and easily every week. Enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com. Terms and conditions apply. See WeBuyAnyCar.com/info.
It's a massive Tuesday night of live Champions League football. Sevilla versus Liverpool on TalkSport and Dortmund versus Spurs on TalkSport 2. Both games kick off 7:45.
Half-time live on TalkSport. Man United 2, Newcastle 1, second half to come. Earlier today, Man City went 9 points clear after a 2-0 win at Leicester. Vincent Kompany was back. Some thought he should have been sent off in the opening minutes. He got a yellow, stayed on, and goals from Gabriel Jesus and Kevin De Bruyne with a stunner sealed the win at Leicester. Here's Pep Guardiola with TalkSport's Jeff Peters.
Kevin De Bruyne scored an outstanding goal. He was applauded off by a lot of the Leicester supporters. What does that tell you about how well he played today?
Well, I was so satisfied, so I think the best thing for a player can feel is that when you play away and the spectators applaud your performance. The level from Kevin that season is it's too big, it's outstanding, and again he helped us a lot to win another game.
Was your heart in your mouth in the 3rd minute when there was the challenge by Vincent Kompany on Jamie Vardy, feeling the possibility it might have been a red card? What did you make of that?
It's yellow card.
Chelsea went second earlier. Eden Hazard got 2 and wound up the home crowd here at the Hawthorns as West Brom were torn apart at times. Here's Antonio Conte on the title race. He's not given up yet.
We have to try to play every game, to try to win, to try to play good football. And then to see if Manchester City can slide up during this season. But honestly, I think that it will be very difficult because Manchester City is showing to be a great team.
Chelsea won 4-0. Some shocking defending. West Brom fans not happy at all.
And the referee now blows the whistle for full time. And
And the boos in the Birmingham Road end say it all, and that could be the end for Tony Pulis. West Brom 0, Chelsea 4.
I'm a realist, as you know, and I understand the game as well as anybody. You know, I've had a real poor run of results. I think the last time was 2005 when I was at Stoke, which is 13 years ago. Obviously, I was hoping to change that today, but it hasn't happened. So you move on, and you move on, and you move on until otherwise told. They've got to make the decision that's best for the football club. And if it's me staying on, if it's me going, then the most important thing is this football club. The football club, the supporters, and everybody who's been a lifelong supporter of Albion.
Tony Pulis met with the Chinese owners last night. He says, quote, they're lovely people. Spurs were poor in the North London derby. Live on TalkSport earlier, Mustafi and Sanchez with first half goals sealed the Arsenal victory, and they're only a point behind Tottenham now.
And it's Ozil's delivery, high towards the far post, towards goal, and in! Mustafi has the first goal in the North London derby. Tottenham undone by the set piece. Here is Lacazette, he's onside, played in by Bellerin down the right, cuts it back looking for Sanchez! 2-0 to Arsenal!
We had a strong performance. I'm not surprised because I feel that for a while now the team is getting stronger and stronger, and we played with purpose, togetherness, and a huge focus for 90 minutes. You couldn't feel a moment, a second in the game where our concentration dropped a little bit, and we looked always dangerous in this game.
Wenger there, they've won all their home games this season in the Premier League. The first goal was from a questionable free kick. Here's Mauricio Pochettino on the decisions.
Very disappointed with the result, very disappointed in the way that we conceded the first goal. I think that was key to change the game in one side. Disappointed because that small detail changed. I don't know if it's a small or big detail, but changed the game in different direction. And of course, and then we conceded a goal and the second, and was hard to come back again in the second half.
Did you feel it was a free kick for the first goal?
I think wasn't, and then was offside. Was very clear.
Mo Salah scored twice as Liverpool beat Southampton 3-0. Jurgen Klopp spoke afterwards with TalkSport's Graham Beecroft.
Well, Jurgen, I enjoyed watching that. You must have done as well.
So that's my main target, that you enjoy the game. So job done. No, you're right. I didn't enjoy it, but a lot of good moments when you thought, okay, that's how it should be. We defended really, really good tonight as a whole team, but in the last line as well. And we scored fantastic goals in a difficult game. Could have scored more, but all good. 3-0. The third win in the league. That's fantastic in a row, and so it's very important.
2-0 win for Burnley, even without their jet-lagged striker Chris Wood. Jack Cork and Ashley Barnes got the goals. Cork opening the scoring against his old club Swansea. He spoke afterwards with TalkSport's Simon Humphries.
Jack, thanks for joining us. How pleasing was that win today?
Yeah, it's a great win. It's another 3 points on what's been an unbelievable start for us as a club and a team. And no, we deserved it first half. We put them under real pressure and got the 2 goals. And second half, they're always going to come out different. And we have done what we've done a few times this season. We've held our shape and limited them to shots and crosses that our centre halves and our fullbacks are more than capable of dealing with. So.
A lot of people are saying Burnley for Europe now.
Yeah, don't want to get carried away. I've done that before, got carried away, and we just slammed back down to earth. So don't want to get carried away. The main target is 40, and if we reach that, then we can maybe set some new goals.
Well, Burnley 7th behind Arsenal, only on goal difference. Swansea boss Paul Clement was asked how he turns it around.
Continue to work hard. It's the most important thing. You know, you see how hard the Burnley players are working, scrapping and fighting, and you know we did that for periods, but we have to do it. We have to do that a lot better. Stay positive, focus on planning and preparing for the next game. That's it.
Callum Wilson bagged a hat-trick as Bournemouth, with 10 men, thrashed Huddersfield 4-0.
And here's Joshua King in the penalty area trying to get it onto his right foot, pulls it back, and there is the hat-trick. Callum Wilson completes the demolition job on Huddersfield.
Callum, how much does that hat-trick mean to you after what you've been through on the injury front?
Yeah, it's massive. Obviously, you work hard throughout your injury and you rehab to just try and get back to the best level you can. I've worked hard day in, day out, even since I've been fit, really, just trying to maintain the levels that I've got to. And yeah, I feel better than ever and delighted to get back on the score sheet in the Premier League.
Callum Wilson with TalkSport's Alex Crook. You've got to be pleased for him. Elsewhere, Palace led twice but had to share 4 goals with Everton at Selhurst, so Roy Hodgson frustrated.
If good performances and
deserving the victory because you've played much better than the opposition doesn't give you points, what then do you actually do? You're asking me as a coach what I can do about it. I mean, I can't score the goals. All we can do is work hard enough to try and get the team playing the way, in my opinion, the team played, and then you hope that the goal chances that come your way you take, and that you don't make horrendous errors at the other end which give goals to the opposition. They're the two things you're always hoping for, and if those two things are actually happening, i.e. you're not taking a chance and you are making mistakes that cost you goal, then it's very hard to get points.
Palace stay bottom of the table. Let's get the second half live now on TalkSport. Man United 2, Newcastle 1. Joey Barton's on the phone in at full time. He's on commentary now at Old Trafford alongside Sam Matface.
Thanks, Adrian. Welcome back, everyone. This is Old Trafford in Manchester on what is a... it's not as cold as I was making out in the first time. It is cold. I've got my gloves on, but... it's not as cold as it could be. It's not as cold as Stoke City on a December afternoon. And the two teams coming out now trying to get ready for the second half. Newcastle have been out for a few minutes. Manchester United is trotting out now, led by Jose Mourinho, is walking down the touchline. And we were warmly entertained in that first 45 minutes. Not something you always associate with being at Old Trafford under Jose Mourinho. And everyone commenting on that in the press room at half-time. And before today, Manchester United had lost only twice in the league so far this season. They'd only conceded 5 times, but Dwight Gale did get Newcastle off to the perfect start. But the response was pretty swift. Martial and Smalling with 2 goals before the break. And Manchester United lead going into the start of the second half. And despite the fact that they have had what is a good start to the season, they still trail Manchester City, even if it stays like this, by 8 points going into the next round of fixtures. And that must be galling for Jose Mourinho to be having quite a good start to the season, yet seeing Manchester City up over the hills and already some way in the distance.
Joey, it can't be great, Sam. It can't be great, but do you know who deserve an awful lot of credit? Not really Mourinho for coming out, because Man United have set up how they set up. But Newcastle have come here and had a go. I think criticism that's been labelled at Rafa is that his sides haven't been expansive and that they haven't taken the game to the opposition. Well, they've certainly done that, and they've done that at one of the more difficult places to come, Old Trafford. So
they won't change the way they play in the second half, will they?
Well, they can't, can they? Otherwise they'll lose the game. They've got to stay on the front foot. They were getting a lot of joy from it. You think, you know, you can think back to a number of chances that they've had. The Murphy shot that flashes across the goal, and obviously a huge chance a couple of seconds before the half-time whistle's blown with, you know, Isaac Hayden firstly, and then Richie's follow-up that hits Dwight Gale. So Newcastle know if they can stay in this game, keep the game at 2-1, there's going to be chances, because they've had them in the first period. And if they can stay in the game, get the next goal, this Man United side get a little bit nervy. Who knows? Because you're thinking Pogba's not probably going to be able to last the full 90 minutes. He's been out for a period of time. You know, at what point does he bring Ibrahimovic onto it? How long can he play? You know, I would say, you know, if you've been out with a cruciate ligament injury, he hasn't played that many games. I'd be very surprised if he could play more than 20 minutes of a game.
No, 2 minutes into the second half, Manchester United wearing red shirts, white shorts, black socks, shooting from right to left. Newcastle defending the goal in front of the Stretford end in black and white stripes. Here's Anthony Martial. Sends the ball infield to Pogba. Pogba clips it on, looking for Rashford. Rashford with a glancing header, trying to set up Lukaku. The idea was right. Execution not perfect, and Rob Elliott come out very quickly and gobbled it up and pulled it into his chest and spared Newcastle's blushes. But it was well worked that by Manchester United. Martial involved, but it was that man, Pogba, again, with a delightful ball into the box.
Just that bit of class, that touch of class. There's not many others on the pitch. Maybe only Shelvey who could pick that little deft dink over the back line. It's a perfect ball to Rashford, and they're very unfortunate not to connect, and that would have been Lukaku's goal drought over it had Rashford headed that ball 5 or 6 inches to the left.
De Gea is the goalkeeper for United, Manchester United that is. Valencia, Lindelof, Smalling and Young the back four, and that back four had a really shaky start to the game. Mata, Pogba and Matic, Rashford, Lukaku and Martial, the Manchester United team. Newcastle with Elliott in goal, Yedlin, Clark, Lejeune and Manquillo. Richie, Shelvey, Hayden and Murphy. Gale, the goal scorer, and Hosselu. Here is Ashley Young at left fullback, on halfway for Manchester United, forward to Matic, Matic onto Rashford, Rashford trying to squeeze that through, looking to feed Martial, who burst into the left channel, but it was shut down by the Newcastle defence. And now it's with Lindelof into Pogba, almost a metronomic figure, just keeping things ticking over in the middle of the park, and then adding a little bit of class right at the very end of moves. Valencia on to Mata, Mata to Valencia again, right side, back to Pogba. Pogba trying to turn under pressure from Hayden, sends it back to the right-hand side. Ball goes infield, where it's collected by Lukaku. His back is to goal, on to Pogba again, and they slowly progress down that right touchline before it goes out for a throw opposite us. And Newcastle haven't beaten Manchester United at Old Trafford very often, just once in the last 45 years. That's since February 1972. Here is Lukaku into the area, comes to Martial, he falls over.
I don't know how he's managed to miss that.
Well, he's fallen over and he's then air-kicked the ball.
I thought it was a foul initially on the Newcastle defender, as it was. The referee played on. Lukaku played on, got to the byline, pulled it back, takes a little deflection off Clark and away from Lejeune. Martial initially controls it with his midriff. The ball bounces up and then he just takes an air shot. A whiff, as they're called.
And that only victory, by the way, came into December 2013. Johan Cabaye scored the only goal of the game. David Moyes was in charge of the team then. And Newcastle would have thought after scoring early here they might have a chance of repeating that, but it hasn't turned out that way as yet. We're into the second half, 5 minutes played, Manchester United 2, Newcastle 1. There has been another goal in the game at Craven Cottage. Fulham against Derby, Kelly Summers.
Yes, Fulham 1, Derby 1, just 4 minutes after the restart, and Matej Vidra is the man that has got the goal. It was poor Fulham defending inside the area, and it was Lawrence who just played the ball through to Vidra for him to just slot the ball home. It's Fulham 1, Derby 1.
Elsewhere, Scotland 3, New Zealand 3. It sounds like a really great game. It's half-time in that, man. A penalty apiece. And Ireland 17, Fiji 10 is the latest score in the autumn internationals. Earlier on today, I mean, what a day it was. Scotland saw Lee Griffiths score a cracking free kick to extend Celtic's unbeaten domestic run to 64 games. Chris Coleman resigned from the Wales job last night and wasn't there as Sunderland anchored themselves further to the bottom of the Championship with a home draw to Millwall. Wolves are top after their win against Reading, and Arsenal beat Tottenham for the first time since 2014 in the Premier League. Chelsea won 4-0. City beat Leicester. Here is Martial down the left-hand side, trying to get beyond Yedlin. Decent cross towards the far post, over the head of Rob Elliott. No one stationed there to capitalise for Manchester United. It runs out of play and goes away for a Newcastle United throw.
It's not a decent cross, that, Sam. I have to disagree with you there, mate. I have to disagree with you.
You think so?
No, I think
beat
that's an
the goalkeeper
cross.
over the top.
Just to nobody, though. There's no. But firstly, the leopard's nowhere near the box.
But shouldn't
taking a bit of time to get in there.
The leopard have been bounding towards that?
I think even if he was, I don't think he gets anywhere near that. I think he's chipped it over everybody. I know it's his weaker foot, Rashford, but just because it's whipped across the front of the box and the keeper doesn't get it, if there's nobody there, it's a bad cross. You know, people saying he's put in a good area. It's only a good area if somebody's in there, otherwise you just booted it away. He's been wasteful for me, Rashford, today. You know, keep hearing he's this phenomenal player, he's going to be this great player for Manchester United going forward, and there's been flashes of it. I've seen moments of quality, but he's been poor today. I think he's very fortunate if he stays on the park and be on the 60-minute mark. He's been wasteful in possession. 8
goals this season for Marcus Rashford, but has gone periods without one. Here's Lukaku into Martial, back towards Martial from Lukaku. Didn't quite squeeze it through to him. It's cleared away by the Newcastle United defence. Yedlin clipping it forward into the air, away by a strong Chris Smalling. It bounces over the head of Hayden, runs through to Manquillo. He gets it back to Clark, and then it's all the way back to Rob Elliott, the goalkeeper for Newcastle United. It's Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1 on Talk Sport, and the second half hasn't been as lively as the first, that's for sure. I'm sure Jose Mourinho will prefer it like that.
I think Benitez would, conceding 2 goals in the manner they did. They're taking a bit of the energy out of the crowd and a little bit of energy out of the Manchester United performance with that half-time break. I think if you're Man United, Sam, you didn't want that break to come because they were in the ascendancy.
Gale tries to slide it forward. Young doesn't capitalise on it. It comes to Martial, gets a lucky bounce, comes back to Young, he sends it to the right-hand side, and Mata helps it on. Lukaku now steaming down the right-hand side. Rashford bursting along to get into the penalty area alongside him. It's towards Rashford, far post, holds it up, Pogba's there, taps it in at the Stretford end, and it's 3-1 for Manchester United. Pog back. Oh yeah, baby. Swivel of the hips, a dance in front of the crowd. The man is back in town, and he is milking it for all it's worth. Manchester United 3, Newcastle 1. I mean, he played a part in both of the first 2 goals. He's been class throughout the course of the afternoon, and now he's got his goal to boot. And Manchester United, who were 1-0 down inside the first 15 minutes here, are now 3-1 up.
And you know, when you look at what's happened, Newcastle are obviously on the attack. They get counter-attacked. It's not the best ball actually out wide from Ashley Young. It's a little bit behind Juan Mata. As it is, Mata slips Lukaku in, who runs into the channel, chops back in, and just has the presence of mind to pick a ball out. Absolute credit goes to Marcus Rashford, because as the play was developing, he broke his neck to get into the box, sprinted beyond the Newcastle defender, and then he has the presence of mind. Look, I've just been guilty of saying he's lucky if he stays on the pitch because his end product's been poor. But at that moment in time, he just had the wherewithal to know there was a runner coming in the box, and instead of going for the goal himself, being greedy, he just pops a header off into the run of Pogba. A desire to score a goal from Pogba, which he didn't have last year. He's had this season. And this is what Manchester United have missed, because if he wasn't in the side today, there's a good chance that Newcastle would have got into that dressing room at half-time at 1-1. His moment of class gets him in the ascendancy, and as it is now, the 3 points look home and hosed.
Manchester United 3, Newcastle United 1. A free kick at the other end. Gale delivering a header after Ritchie's ball into the box. Flicked away by the United defence. It goes back to halfway. 55 minutes gone. Manchester United 3, Newcastle 1 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. And don't forget, you can watch that Pogba goal on the Sky Sports app at no extra cost if you're a Sky TV customer with Sky Sports. Here's Murphy down the right side, trying to get a cross in. Oh, left-footed, hooking it towards the near post. That was a good delivery.
You were going to say good delivery there. It's not a good delivery. He just crossed it straight into the keeper's hands. It's crap.
It was
not good.
It was close to causing problems for Manchester United.
It was close, but it's like saying he's passed the ball out of play. Well, it's close to getting to him. It's not a good ball. It annoys me when people say it's a good ball. If you get the ball and you whip it in and the keeper just walks out and catches it, it's not a good ball.
I'll let you do the adjectives from now on.
I don't know. I can see why you would say it's a good ball because it gets people off the seat, but there's no one near it. He did well initially there, Murphy. What he would have been better doing is when Ashley Young comes steaming in, going down and getting the rest of the back line up and putting the cross in, because that's what Ashley Young would have done to him. It's just that little bit of game savvy.
Here's Mata down the left-hand side, beyond the last defender, sends a cross into the box. He's looking for Lukaku, and getting back to help out his defence, or to be a big part of that defence was Kieran Clark, who launched the ball over the top of the crossbar and out for a corner kick to Manchester United. He was backpedaling very quickly there, had to get back, because Mata had got in behind the fullback, and he'd gone in, you know, he had space and time to get the cross in, pick his pass to Lukaku, and if Clark hadn't have intervened, that would have been 4-1 to Manchester United.
Well, the way Lukaku's playing at the minute, there's a good chance he would have missed it. He hasn't been near anything, has he? So it might have been 4-1, Sam.
He was born to score. Oh. No, Matic clips the ball on in towards Pogba. Pogba tucks it back to the right-hand side. Valencia tries to take it down the right. Waits, goes on the outside, plays the ball against the shins of the defender, and it goes behind and away.
It makes that Hayden miss corner now before half-time look even more gilt-edged, doesn't it? Yeah. You know, because you go in a 2-2. You know, you're right in the game.
Here's the corner from the outside. An overhead kick by Pogba, doesn't connect properly with it, and then it's hooked out again by Lejeune and away for another corner over on the far side. The 9th of the game for Manchester United, who lead here by 3-1, and are probably in a situation now where if they score another goal, in danger of blitzing this Newcastle United team that started so well. Flick on by Pogba, back post is Martial, brought down by Shelvey and then cleared away, and now Ritchie tries to escape on the counter. Up to Murphy. Murphy on halfway. Manchester United now already got 6 bodies back behind the ball. One of those is Valencia. He's being chased by Gale, but he's dealt with that and cleared it up over the halfway line. If you're Rafa Benitez, what do you do now?
Well, we were giving Benitez huge credit for the way they'd come out to play this game. You know, going 4-4-2, being positive at Old Trafford. But this is if it comes off, it's great, and when you're 1-0 up, and maybe if you get in the dressing room at half-time 2-2, it looks a very, very shrewd tactical manoeuvre.
Here is Yedlin down the right side, controls it, he's beyond the defender, sends the ball into the box. It's not a great delivery.
Correct.
It's cleared away by Matic.
See, I'm helping you now.
I'm being coached here, aren't I?
That's not a great delivery. You're right, Sam. Correct that time.
What by Smalling up to Lukaku. Rashford's made a run through the centre. Lukaku should have hit it first time, didn't. He goes beyond the defender into the box, sends the ball to the back post, and it goes through to Rashford and well past him through the 6-yard box and scoots out towards the touchline. Mata gets it back again. His low ball towards Martial, cleared away by Yedlin up towards the halfway line. Bad ball
good
there.
Cross from Lukaku, or not a good cross from Lukaku?
Didn't reach him, so it's got to be a bad ball.
Correct. And I think they're very fortunate, because I think it was actually handball from Lukaku to get through. I'm just saying, we were talking about Benitez and the positivity of his selection from the kickoff. But if you're a manager now, you've gone 4-4-2, you're now 3-1 down with 30-odd minutes to go at Old Trafford. If he doesn't start the game 4-5-1, Sam, there's the opportunity to put another striker on the pitch and maybe go 4-4-2 and be a bit more offensive. But at this moment in time, because you've gone 4-4-2, he can't go back to 4-5-1 because it's seen as a negative substitution. So the only positive offensive substitution he could do is replace both his forwards, which he's not capable of doing, or put another forward on and go 4-3-3. And at that point, you risk maybe getting beat 5 or 6-1. So whilst he deserves a tip of the hat for coming here and having a go at Man United, these are the reasons that people don't.
Here is Rashford being played through by Martial, but Rob Elliott was very smartly off his line, came careering to meet Rashford before he could reach the ball by the Frenchman, and it's picked up and clutched into his chest. Manchester United 3, Newcastle United 1. We've nearly played an hour mark, and Manchester United scored 3 goals in the game, which I'm sure, I think Pep Guardiola now says that's what you've got to do. If you want to win a Premier League game, you've got to score 3 goals in the game. They've scored 3 goals. You would expect all 3 points to be staying.
How does Pep know?
Well, he spent a year studying it.
Well, he's not won it yet, has he?
Got it wrong for a year. I think he'll probably win it this year, don't you?
Well, there's a good chance, but he hasn't won it yet, so got to be very careful about preaching to everybody. Maybe ask Sir Alex Ferguson or Wenger how you win it. Yeah, we were saying he could go. He's got the army on there, but I don't think he's flavour of the month at Newcastle. And then you've got Jose Perez and Mitrovic.
You say the army? I thought you said he's got the army.
The army?
The army, all right.
He hasn't got the army. He probably needs the army to get back into this game. He's got Mitrovic on there, who doesn't seem, again, to have an awful lot of trust in, so he'll certainly ruffle a few feathers. You get Lindelof back under the cosh, because as it is, Man United score, and Lindelof doesn't really get tested after a nervy opening 10-15 minutes.
Well, Manchester United will jump back up to second with this victory. Don McGuinness is on the touchline for us. What have you spotted?
Well, for the first time in this game, Manchester United are sending out a couple of subs, and the first fella to leave the dugout is one of the favourites. So you've got Zlatan on the bench, but it's Marouane Fellaini followed by Herrera, so maybe Jose considering a change.
Mata onto the left, Martial there, tries to strike the ball through the 6-yard box, but it hits the first man, bounces off Yedlin and goes behind and away for a corner.
I don't think he'll take off Lukaku for Zlatan until Lukaku scores, because he's in that little drought. Mourinho will be aware of that. This is a good opportunity to put that to bed.
Rashford delivers a cross into the box. It's headed into the air by Clark. Further clear by Lejeune out towards the far side. It's away for a throw. Interesting, and we were talking about things you never thought you'd hear when you said to me 10 years ago, if I told you the 2 fullbacks for Manchester United would be Valencia and Young. It's one of their favourites, Marouane Fellaini. That was never going to be the case until Jose came into town. Rashford down the left onto Martial, trying to out-trick Lejeune, but it didn't quite work. Comes back to Rashford. Now it's with Matic, who's 6 or 7 yards back from the edge of the penalty area. Manchester United happy to just regress and go back to Smalling, who floats the ball high into the air towards the right touchline. The chest down by Valencia isn't great, but it breaks to Pogba. Pogba gets it to Lindelof, and then Lindelof hacks it forward at rapid pace. Valencia nods it on. Lukaku was trying to chase it, didn't have the pace to do so. 3-1 Manchester United lead.
You're just saying about the stylists and what they say about Mourinho's sides and the way they play. I don't think it helps the fact that they're playing. I know he's done great there, and he's done well to reinvent himself in the Mourinho era. Ashley Young, kind of left back, but the fact that he cuts inside. He's always wanting to get on his dominant foot, which is his right foot. I think is a huge concern for the stylist. Aesthetically, it's not the most pleasing when you've got Martial or Rashford on there who want to get inside on the right foot, and then whoever's in fullback, whether it be Darmian or Ashley Young, they also want to come inside and play on the right foot
rather than go on the outside.
Yeah, I think that just gives that natural balance to the side. You know, they have the opportunity on the right-hand side for Valencia to go outside, you know, maybe get a whip across in. And on this their left-hand side, everybody wants to come inside, so the game ends up being funneled inside of the...
No overlap opportunity. Someone who might provide that might be Luke Shaw, and of course Manchester United, they've got to cut their cloth accordingly now, and Jose Mourinho has been told he can't go out and lavish loads of money. Maybe the reason
he ain't having Luke Shaw.
Yeah, but but he wouldn't have been on the bench before today. Now he is on the bench today. I'm just wondering whether or not he's going to try and reintegrate him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he should. I think he's a good player. He's lost his way a bit since he come to Man United, but I remember when he first come in, one of the early targets of his criticism was Luke Shaw. So, you know, whether Luke's knuckled down in training and started to prove to Jose that he wants to be part of this Man United setup, I don't know, but the fact that he's on the bench is a good indicator.
Mata, sumptuous pass out to the right side where he picks out Valencia. Valencia trots to the edge of the box, plays it off Pogba, gets it back, produces a cross to the back post. Lukaku was waiting, flying header away by Yedlin to stop it from reaching him, and it's back out to the right side again. This is Valencia holding on to the ball. Threads it back to Pogba, rolls it forward, tries to produce a cross. He's shut down by Hayden. The ball bounces to the far touchline, and Mata has it again. Matic taking it on, running to the edge of the box, shrugging off 2 or 3, and then tries to bounce his way into the area. Newcastle clear, and it's picked up over on the far side.
They've got to make a change, Newcastle, haven't they? Yeah. Just to give them that change of impetus, something different, because they've got a little bit stagnant at this moment.
Hosselu swinging it out to the right, and Murphy into Shelby. Shelby with space to run into, encouraged to shoot, takes it on his right foot, drives into the box, goes down the right side, gets to the byline, falls over. Oh, he done brilliantly up until that moment where he needed to deliver the ball, and then he kicked his own foot, fell over, slid into the advertising holdings behind the goal, and they loved it. The Manchester United fans loved it. The Newcastle fans, even the geezer with NUFC tattooed across his belly, who's not wearing a shirt here, even he had a little smile.
It's out in Brazil, isn't it?
No, he's in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
And it wouldn't be
Same
NUFC.
Shape.
Not read enough. Going to be a change, Don McGuinness.
Well, Rolando Aranz has actually replaced Matt Rich, and incidentally, obviously, if you're a former Liverpool man and you slip over in front of the United fans, it's not the Newcastle connection, believe me.
He did great, didn't he? He did great to get there, strips Matic, puts him on his backside, forces him to lunge into a tackle, and you think they ain't going to pull the trigger. As it is, he takes another touch and tries to go on the outside of Chris Smalling and stamp on a far post. Unfortunately for John Joe, his footwear failed him, and he ends up looking a bit silly.
Zlatan warming up down in front of us. Listen to the roar. Well,
I thought that was for Rojo.
If Romelu Lukaku is a leopard, he says he is a lion. He doesn't heal like humans. And he's back well before time. Here's Murphy running towards the edge of the United penalty. A right-footed shot towards the far corner. It's a big right hand, that from David De Gea. I think it was the most trickiest of saves.
One for the cameras. It was going. It's what you call one for the cameras, that, from De Gea. I think he was over there comfortably. Back in the day, you would have seen the likes of Neville Southall catch that and prevent a corner. Unfortunately, with the modern-day keeper, they want to do all this showboating. But good save nonetheless. Top keeper De Gea. If he is a little bit guilty of gymnastics from time to time.
And there is an issue over on the far side, which has got to be dealt with. Chris Smalling has picked up a yellow card in the last couple of seconds as well, which I didn't see the reason for that.
Here he is, Sideshow Bob's coming on now. The big curly perm just took his tracksuit top off. Be interesting to see who he replaces, Sam.
Smalling was a foul on Isaac Hayden, I think, over on that far side, which is why Hayden now is receiving treatment. The player was allowed to continue because Murphy broke towards the edge of the area and had the shot, so the referee had played the advantage. The problem is that Hayden's still down inside his own half, receiving some attention, and actually, rather than Marouane Fellaini coming on, the urgency is a decision being made on Isaac Hayden, whether or not he can play for Newcastle United. They're warming up substitutes down in front of us. Modemar Diarmi is one of those. You mentioned Rolando Allen's coming on. Don McGuinness did. Aarons, I saw him score an absolutely fantastic goal earlier in the season, the League Cup up at Newcastle. They played Nottingham Forest in a game that finished in extra time 2-2. They lost on penalties, I think. And he scored one of the best goals I've seen this season. It was an absolute thunderbolt from 25 yards right into the postage stamp. Anyway, corner to be taken on this near side by Shelvey. Hayden is back up and moving again, but not involved in the players. It curls away towards Hosselu, bounced inside the 6-yard box. Gale goes down in a tangle with Valencia. They want a penalty, the Newcastle fans. It was never forthcoming, and it's cleared away by Manchester United. Matic sweeps it up to the halfway line, and Martial takes over. He looks to find Rashford, but he played it behind him, and then somehow Newcastle United tied themselves in knots with Rob Elliott actually coming out far too fast, and Manquillo taking charge of the situation and going round his own goalkeeper to clear.
And a better ball from Martial. Rashford would have been in one-on-one. Newcastle would have been in a world of pain. Who comes off? Rashford, Mata, Pogba. Yeah, it's been class. Here's an absolute class, hasn't he?
Well, there is a standing ovation. He applauds all around the sections of the stadium. Paul Pogba has done his bit today, and Marouane Fellaini, well, always a favoured man for Jose Mourinho these days. He comes on to a good reception, and again, if you're going back to who would have thought it, he gets a great reception here now. Yeah.
He was supposed to be injured as well, wasn't he? Not too long ago. Came back ahead of time.
Looks like he's never been away, Sam. He's been the difference between the two sides today. You know, there's been some good performances, but no one's who's class like Pogba.
Sensational. What a player. Great to watch.
They've missed them.
Gets bums off seats, and Jose said when he comes back you'll see the difference. We have. Here's Lukaku trying to get into the area, has got into the area, and then shoots high into the net in front of the Stretford end. Well, he said in the programme today, I was born to score. I'm like a leopard in the box, and they don't change their spots. 7 games without a goal. Maybe we're about to see the return of rampant Rom. Pogba celebrates as he's walking down the tunnel. He turns to his mate, gives him a great big fist pump. It's Manchester United 4, Newcastle 1.
It was only a matter of time. We spoke about whether Zlatan would get on the pitch, and I always felt if I was Mourinho, I'd have been sitting there thinking, I want the big man to get a goal. He's had a tough time. He had a great start for us when he come in. He's gone through a little tricky spell, which all strikers do. And to be fair to him, you wouldn't get an easier chance. He earns it himself with just hard work and determination. A couple of bad challenges from Newcastle players. They'll be going over that in the video and won't be proud, won't be happy to see that again. And Lukaku gets in, feints Rob Elliott, sits him down. To be fair to Elliott, he's got no chance from there. I initially thought he'd missed the target, Lukaku, because he hit it that high into the roof of the net. But he's a class act. He will always score goals. Yeah, there is the argument that he's a little bit of a flat-track bully due to his record against the big boys, but he'll get you 25 goals a season, and for a club like Everton that he played for before, you know how invaluable that is. And obviously at Man United now, you'd expect him to get at least 25 and maybe 30.
20 goals in 22 appearances this season for club and country.
And he hasn't scored in the last 7.
Yeah.
He'll score goals. He just knows where the net is, and the more the likes of a Pogba are in the side.
Oh, Martial's offside. What a lovely turn that was by Mata, and he swept the ball down the left-hand side if it had come off. And
he's that fast. He doesn't need to go in there. That annoys me. That he is that fast.
Martial.
He doesn't need to give someone that yard.
I mean, the idea was great, wasn't it? He turned beautifully, elegantly, pivoted, and then sent the ball down the left side. But both of them, both Rashford and Martial, had gone a little bit early.
And that's the naivety of being young players. You know, a smarter player, a more experienced player, like a Lukaku, maybe would have just checked his run and held the line. If you're Anthony Martial, I know Yedlin's quick, I know he's fast, but you can be at least level with him. I'd fancy, Martial maybe in a foot race with Yedlin, and certainly fancy Rashford in a foot race with Manquillo. They don't need to be offside there, because Mata produces a magical little turn, and if they just hold the line and hold the discipline, they're in on a one-on-one situation with Rob Elliott, the two of them, and arguably going to be 5-1.
Here's Fellaini looking for Lukaku. It's cut away by Clark. It's up to halfway. Earlier in the day, the gauntlet was thrown down to Manchester United with the wins for Manchester City and for Chelsea. Tottenham losing today, which I think was a bit of a surprise. No one had Arsenal on their coupon, I don't think, going into today's game. They beat Tottenham earlier by 2-0, the first time they've beaten them since 2014. Chelsea scoring 4 goals away from home. That sort of just upped the level of scrutiny on Manchester United's performance today. And they've come up with the goals that they require, and now they're about to give a 16-minute cameo to a man who's already declared himself a legend. Zlatan is about to return. Here is Young pinging the ball forward. It's 4 against 3 if they can move it quickly here. It's out to the right side and Lukaku is challenged and then he's dragged down. No, the free kick's gone against him. And then he's shot from the edge of the area and hit the post, even though the whistle has already gone. It's a free kick to Newcastle. Remember, it's Manchester United 4, Newcastle 1 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. And you can watch that Romelu Lukaku go on the Sky Sports app, and no extra cost if you're a Sky TV customer with Sky Sports. You said before he wasn't going to take Lukaku off to bring Zlatan on if Lukaku hadn't scored. He has scored. Is that what he does now?
I think Rashford, we may take Martial or Rashford off. They don't tend to do 90 minutes shifts, but he might try the Lukaku-Zlatan partnership, see how that beds in. You know, I think Lukaku will want to stay on because he'll know there's goals out there. He'll want to play with Ibrahimovic for sure, so you might see him go to a kind of 4-4-2. You know, he's got 2 older midfielders in Fellaini and Matic there. He might just chuck one of them up top. But what a comeback from the big fella. Done a cruciate ligaments. Everybody thought that was the end of his career. Everybody thought he maybe would have reinvented himself in the MLS or somewhere like that. But
April the 20th.
He's a testament to his as a professional footballer. You know, you don't get anywhere without working hard. Yes, he's got lots of ability, but he's got an incredible natural enthusiasm, an incredible desire to be a top player, and clearly how quickly he's rehabilitated himself from what can be at times, or used to be, a career-ending injury. So,
well, since he injured himself on the 20th of April, Shane Long hasn't scored a goal. We've had
what's that got to do with it?
A couple of England debuts, was just the length of time.
He's not related to Shane Long in any way, is he?
No.
Are you picking on Shane Long for?
I'm just telling you how long it's been.
Don't need that. When he hasn't scored a goal, doesn't need you. Give him a kick in the town halls as well.
I'm not giving him a kick. I'm just telling you what happened, or hasn't happened.
I like Shane Long.
Do you?
Yeah, I like him. I think he's a good player. But clearly you don't. That's something personal against him there.
What? Because I've mentioned his
No, I think that's because you're
stats.
a Portsmouth fan and he plays for Southampton. That's
Nothing
why.
to do with it.
Read you like a book, mate.
Balls out of play over on the far side. It's away for a goal kick.
I think we might see Diarmi come on. Yeah, I thought that.
Well, the board's gone up. I think they're a little bit confused. Actually, it's the Manchester United change. It's not coming yet. It's the Newcastle change.
Which I thought that was. I thought Newcastle, Rafa's gone, well, 4-1 will do us now. We're not going to win the game, and we don't want to get done 5 or 6 because it's not good for morale.
Don McGuinness has got the details.
Well, the first substitution is a Newcastle one. Gale has gone off, and Diarmi is on. Now, listen to this. That is for Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who's going to take the place of Martial for the remainder of this one. So, yes, the 2 big men go up front, and 9 times substitutes have scored for United this season. Will Zlatan make it 10? He's wearing number 10.
Yeah, where are we? We've got 14 minutes to go. Manchester United have scored 10 goals in the last 10 minutes of Premier League games already this season. He's wearing number 10 now. I want to play number 10, he said, because number 10 is the star.
Is that what he said?
Yep.
Well, we believe him, don't we?
He's back, and he's going to play just off Romelu Lukaku. But it won't be long before he's back scoring goals again, I'm sure.
Brings that swagger, that arrogance. You know, in Manchester United weren't at the best last season, and there was times when he was the shining light, and he led them. You know, when they weren't playing great football, moments of genius he'd win the game with. So to come back now while the team's, well, like, it's not playing its best, but you've got the likes of Lukaku. You know, you've got Matic in there. You've got Pogba now firing on all cylinders. I think it'd be great to see Zlatan, you know, see what he can do in a free-flowing side. And
Shelvey hits it from the edge of the area, and it's just narrowly wide of David De Gea's goal and into the scoreboard end. It's still 4-1 to Manchester United.
David De Gea weren't getting anywhere near that as well. Very unlucky from Shelvey. Again, I keep saying about Shelvey, but of all the Newcastle players, and there were some good performances until they went 2-1 down, Shelvey's the one that's who's class. Yes, he's been upstaged today by Paul Pogba because he's, you know, a world-class performer, I think, when he's at his best, Pogba. But Shelvey, I think's, you know, shown, for me, I did Huddersfield against West Brom a couple of weeks ago, and you know, I don't want to pick on Jake Livermore, but
I like Jake Livermore.
I know, and I know he done well, but the likes of him and Wilshere, I mean, yeah, I still scratching my head how they haven't had a sniff of that England squad. Certainly when all the midfielders. I mean, I thought I was going to get a phone call at one point, and I'm still banned for 6 months. It was that.
In fact, in the last international break, that many people pulled out. You were probably one of the only Englishmen that have played in the Premier League recently that didn't get the phone call. Here is Mata down by the corner flag, trying to send it into the centre, looking for Lukaku. It's headed on, and it's cleared away by Yedlin. Smalling's going to try and smuggle this backwards to his goalkeeper. It gives me the opportunity to talk to you about the latest odds from Betfair, Matchday Live's official betting partner on TalkSport. The latest odds right now, Newcastle 4-1 to score. The correct score market, United 4-1 is even money. It's 8-1 for it to finish United 4, Newcastle United 2. Cash out is available on single accumulator bets to take your winnings before the end of the match. Available on selected markets. Conditions do apply. Full terms at betfair.com. 18 plus gamble aware. Herrera about to come on.
I think if I was the last man on the planet, I think there'd be no caller for me for England, Sam.
Well, did you know that
my relationship with the FA?
I thought you had a good relationship with the FA. No? Anyway.
Yeah.
Prior to the start of
Depends what you deem as good. It's like,
giving a bit of money, aren't you?
Well, that's the only thing they ever phone me about. When we're going to pay me fine. Not how we're getting on, how we're doing.
Prior to the international break, the call-up situation was only third out of the number of Englishmen that started the previous weekend in the Premier League. Only 33 of them hadn't been called up.
Yeah, it's worrying times out there, isn't it?
Well,
I mean,
I don't think it is, actually. I think we're at the end of the worrying times. The young players that are coming through, I think, are much more likely to break in over the next few years. Here's Ibrahimovic. Every time he gets the ball, there's a cheer. It breaks down, though, and Diame brings it away. Ibrahimovic is chasing back and pushing Diame. The ball runs through to Young, and he gets it back to his goalkeeper, David De Gea.
I mean, they did well, the friendlies. You can't take that away. You know, they drew 0-0 twice, so we have to see that as a positive. Against Brazil and Germany, who were two top-level performers. Obviously, much better judging them in a serious game rather than the kind of friendly exhibition matches, but it's a testament to where international football is at this moment in time. You know, certainly friendlies, you know, the like, not, you know, Harry Kane and the like, not even turning up, which you wouldn't, because you've got big Premier League fixtures round the corner, and he didn't look 100% for Spurs today either, did he?
It's interesting you say that about international football as a whole, because Antonio Valencia didn't go and play with Ecuador. He decided to stay because he didn't think it was worth going on a plane for 16 hours and tiring himself out when he had a big game to play for Manchester United over the course of the next few weeks. And listen, we know now that this stage of the season, you know what it's like playing in the Premier League from December onwards, the start of December onwards. It's relentless, isn't it?
Look, players only want to play in the national matches that matter. Nobody likes playing friendlies. Nobody.
Here is Valencia. Young in space over on the far side of the left. Zlatan Ibrahimovic picks him out. It's with Young inside the area now. Right footed cross towards the back post. It just eludes that back post, and Lukaku was steaming in, didn't quite reach it. Goes behind and away for a goal kick.
Terrible cross again. Just crossed it straight out. You'd have been saying good cross half an hour ago. We need to give you that little lesson, Sam.
Well, I'm always grateful for your lessons, as you know. Another change for Manchester United. It's Manchester United 4, Newcastle 1 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. You can watch all the goals and highlights from this afternoon's Premier League games on the Sky Sports app at no extra cost if you're a Sky TV customer with Sky Sports. Here's Don McGuinness.
How many times do we hear this? Juan Mata is leaving the pitch. He gets
Every
substituted every time, and it's his mate Herrera who takes his place for the last 8 minutes or so.
Yeah, he is.
Been quiet today, Juan, hasn't he?
He's put a couple of good balls. I don't know, actually. I'll have to go back and watch the video with you. You can teach me. But
he hasn't got an assist, has he?
Is that a good ball assist?
Yeah, pretty much, or a completed pass or whatever. Even a completed pass sometimes for me can be a bad ball if it's behind the player or it stops a player's momentum running forward. Like, I think the Ashley Young ball to Juan Mata for the goal where Lukaku breaks down the line is actually a bad ball, even though it hits its intended target. Mata has to break stride, it slows him down, and as it is, it takes his options away because he then has to come infield and put Lukaku into a channel. But if that ball's in front of him, presented correctly for that, and maybe committed the defender to slip Lukaku in for a chance for Lukaku or not. So, hey, this is just, you know, the small minutiae of elite level football, Sam. I don't expect you to pick that up, mate. You can't get that unless you've been out there playing. Done it.
Let's go to Murrayfield, where it's full-time there. At half-time, it looked like a bit of a trudge. How did it end? Stuart Cameron.
Well, 3 second-half tries put New Zealand in the driving seat after a 3-3 first half, as you say here at Murrayfield. Taylor, Barrett and McKenzie all crossing for the All Blacks. For Scotland, Johnny Gray got on the score sheet, but Scotland refused to give up. Hugh Jones ran in for a spectacular try, converted by Russell, but with 2 minutes remaining, they left it too late. The search for a Scotland win against New Zealand continues. It's Scotland 17, New Zealand 22.
Manchester United 4, Newcastle United 1 here on TalkSport tomorrow. We've got live commentary of the Leeds United Middlesbrough game in the Championship at 1:15. Before that tonight, 7:45 on TalkSport 2, we've got the Madrid derby. And then on Tuesday night, Seville against Liverpool on TalkSport on 2. We've got Dortmund against Spurs. Wednesday night, Basel against Manchester United on 2. Chelsea travelling to Karabag at 5. And the EFL action returns the same evening as top spot Wolves take on Leeds United. Tuesday night, Cologne against Arsenal in the Europa League. Coverage starts at 7 on TalkSport 2. We've also got Everton on TalkSport that night. And the next week, on Saturday night, I'm going to Anfield, Liverpool versus Chelsea, 5:30. Are you coming with me for that one or not?
I don't think I'm allowed at Anfield at this moment in time. They're not happy because I keep saying they...
Okay.
Because I'm not a huge fan of Jurgen Klopp.
I'll have to find somebody else. I'm
sure
we
won 3-0 today. I think he's been some player for them, hasn't he? That's Salah.
He's been
Chelsea
all right,
going to have to find a way to cope with him because he's been incredible. He has.
Chelsea,
another 2 goals today.
Chelsea should know all about him. They did have him for a year and a half and they decided to sell him on.
Well, was Benitez the one who didn't play him?
To be honest with you, I don't think anybody played him.
I'm sure he was in. I'm sure he was in.
He was there around that time.
Yeah, that strange spell when they won. Did they win the Europa League?
They won the Europa League,
yeah.
Anyway, 4 minutes to go here. Manchester United leading by 4 goals to 1. The game's sort of just frittering away really now because both sides know that it is done. Newcastle even withdrew a forward and gone to a 5-man midfield just to try and nullify Manchester United because they were threatening to really run away with it. And maybe Rafa Benitez is wary of the goal difference issues at the end of the season that could well crop up. You never know. Here's Zlatan Ibrahimovic, right side, sending a cross into the box looking for Rashford. It's away by Yedlin. Rashford still chasing it, bounding with energy, trying to get over to the far side. It runs out and away for a goal kick. Manchester United 4, Newcastle 1 on TalkSport with Sky Sports.
I think Lukaku's gone out and he's playing as a right. They haven't gone the 2 up top with Zlatan and Lukaku. Lukaku's gone right side. And he must be arguably the world's biggest right midfielder at this moment in time. And he just looks so unorthodox in that position. Why not put the 2 of them up top?
It's a good question, and one that maybe the Manchester United fans might ask on the phone in tonight. 08717223344. Joey doing that. United linked with Griezmann in midweek, but I think he's trying to sort of warm up the French fans to try and get a move to PSG at some point. We've also been linked with Mesut Özil, who played well today in the game against Tottenham Hotspur. But talking of new signings and new money, Newcastle might soon have some new money behind them as well. Amanda Staley and her PCP Capital Partners going through due diligence at St James's Park. I mean, you're a former Newcastle employee. If they were to get the investment that they have desired for many, many years, what happens to that club? Because it's one city, one club, huge stadium.
Well, that's what everybody thought would happen when Mike Ashley bought the club, and I'm not criticising Ashley because I think as many big sides are realising, it could always be a lot worse. You know, the fact that if he does sell them, he sells them as a Premier League club with, you know, still a good manager in charge, a good nucleus of players to then go and build on. And he's allowed them to absorb 2 relegations in however many years of his tenure. So I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, you know, but I think it's a time now for Newcastle United, Sam, where they need new ownership. It needs new impetus. I think everybody's sick to the back teeth of is he going to sell it, isn't he going to sell it kind of debate that's going on. And it looks like there's going to be some investment. I can see a couple of the guys down there who are involved in it, who I know. And you know, my belief is that it's going to happen, and I think it'll be good for the city, good for the club, because
when you say that, you mean in the director's box just near us, you know,
yeah,
a couple of people that
yeah, and
are involved in the takeover?
Yeah, well, they're not involved directly in the takeover, but they're in the know, and they know what's going on. They're close to the Staveley camp. So yeah, I think it looks like it seriously could happen, which
this looks like it could seriously happen for Manchester United, because Ibrahimovic has turned and he's run forward into the penalty area. Lukaku has crossed it back to him after working it out wide to the Belgian. It's now come back out to him after a header from Lejeune. It's on to Valencia. Rashford and Fellaini now making a way into the box. Matic has a chance to deliver a ball. He clips it towards the far post. Here's Ibrahimovic with an acrobatic scissor kick, which heads towards the goal. It's turned around the post by Rob Elliott, and it's out for a corner kick.
Should let it hit the post there, Elliott. It was never going in, that. Good effort from Zlatan, though. Nice to see him back. Elliott just give it a corner away. If he knew where he was in the goal, he'd have just let it go by.
Ibrahimovic trying to play a 1-2. Does play a 1-2. Sends the ball across the 6-yard box. Smalling was there to attack it. It was flicked away by Lejeune. Picked up by Valencia. Over on the right side. Back into Herrera, who's on as a second-half sub here. Across to Matic. Matic scooping it back. Here's Herrera bringing it down. Back across the face of goal. Fellaini's there. Heads it straight into the arms of Elliott. Should have been 5.
And if he didn't have that big piece of sponge on the top of his head, it might have been. Just hit that and it took all the pace out of it. If he'd had a normal haircut, he'd have scored that.
If you were his teammate, would you tell him to have it shaved off?
Look, the size of him, I wouldn't tell him anything, but he can't be good for playing football in that, for sure. I know he's good with his head, but surely that takes a lot of that
power off. It must
100%.
Like physics tells you that, surely.
Yeah.
Here is Rashford on the near side. We're approaching stoppage time at the end of the 90 minutes. Manchester United's leading by 4-1, and the United fans now just streaming out the exits, knowing that they've already won the game here. Valencia.
He's like David Luiz when he shaved it off. When he had it off, Fellaini, he didn't even look like himself, did he?
No.
He just doesn't, like, you wouldn't imagine it being Fellaini unless he's got that haircut. Well, yeah.
Here is Ibrahimovic trying to send it forward to Fellaini. Does just that. Diame robs him of possession, brings it clear for Newcastle United, who started the game by scoring the first goal of the match. But seems a long way ago now. That's a good challenge by Lindelof, who started the match out of sorts, to be honest with you, but has got better as the game has gone on, and Manchester United have taken a grip of it. Good tackle by him there, but he had a difficult first half an hour to the game, that is for sure.
Yeah, Hossel, who had him rattled, and Gale, who definitely had him rattled. He looked nervy on the ball. His first touch wasn't helped by David De Gea. The ball got absolutely fired at him. He had no chance of controlling it, and then he just got a little bit nervy after that. But as you say, I think Smalling's performance alongside him. I think Smalling, you know, obviously he's got a goal from the defensive position today, but in the absence of Phil Jones and Eric Bailey, I think they've acquitted themselves really well after the initial nervy, 30-minute period.
Yeah, Bailly injured today, that's why he's not taking part. Mkhitaryan just not selected in the squad. Maybe that's with one eye on the trip in midweek. Smalling has scored his first goal since January when he scored against Wigan today, and that set Manchester United on the path. And they've scored 2 subsequent goals since then. So it's United 4, Newcastle United 1.